on Weather Underground. A dangerous night developing across the southeast. We're going to show you where the threat of strong tornadoes and damaging winds is highest right now, including live coverage from some areas at risk.
And this threat is right on the heels of a deadly and destructive night last night. Multiple tornado emergencies from last night. Long-track supercells left a widespread swath of damage in their wake. We have the latest as the cleanup begins in hard-hit communities from Oklahoma to Texas and Louisiana, and when the next severe threat will be looming.
Yeah, tomorrow the focus shifts into Florida, and we'll tell you where severe thunderstorms will be ongoing, where the storms and the rain could linger well into the weekend. And, of course, our countdown to hurricane season continues. Tonight, hurricane expert Dr. Rick Knabb explains what to take with you when you evacuate and why it's a little bit more complicated this year. All of that next on Weather Underground. And we welcome you into the show on this Thursday, once again in the midst of a very active night of storms. I'm Alex Wilson, storm specialist Mark Elliott here to track those storms on the radar. But, Mark, we were watching these storms last night, both on the radar, but getting some really incredible video coming in. You're looking at video from one of those tornadoes, this one in Medill, Oklahoma. And you saw this off the top of the show. Yet another view where we had our rainbow and the tornado. There, right down the center of the screen, you can see that condensation funnel extending closer and closer to the ground, but a rainbow. Mark, I don't know that I'd really ever seen a video, or I think I'd seen a photo, but I'd never seen a video of a tornado with a rainbow. And yesterday they were coming in from all across the Mid-South.
The timing has to be absolutely perfect to get that rainbow to form, because the sun has to be at the right angle to get underneath that cloud layer and into the rain. And of course the storms have to be all on their own to have any sun nearby in the first place. So the bottom line is it's pretty difficult to get that. And yesterday, my goodness, did the atmosphere cooperate for those photogenic storms. I wish we could have avoided the destructive nature of some of these storms, but my goodness, if we could just put that in an open field someday, people would make billions just selling the photos.
Yeah. I mean, and we got to watch the entire lifespan of this tornado. There you saw that eventually roping out. But as you mentioned, between formation and roping out, we did see it hit a few structures and leave some serious damage. Unfortunately, 2 people killed, but very rare to get to see the life cycle and all the stages of a tornado.
Yeah, and then the rainbow was just bonus on top of seeing the full life cycle live here on Weather Underground. That's the time of year, guys. If you want to see how that atmosphere works and how these storms form, we're covering these every day for you across the country. And there will be more, unfortunately, there will be more tornadoes before this severe season is done. So always come to us for the latest information. Now, the storms tonight of kind of a different nature. Instead of these supercell thunderstorms all on their own, we have tornadoes that are completely embedded within the rain and the wind and the thunderstorms that are moving west to east through the Florida Panhandle. It is a mess out here. South Georgia and the Florida Panhandle. There's some instability to work with. There's some shifting winds because of earlier boundaries put down from storms from this morning, and that's helping that tornado potential, but they're not supercells. These are embedded circulations along the line of storms. There's still a small sliver of this tornado watch east of Tallahassee that continues until 10, basically only a couple of counties. Then east of there, you have a tornado watch that continues all the way until midnight, suggesting that we've got a couple more hours still before that main line that we've been following for the past 3 hours gets all the way to the eastern seaboard and really ends our threat for North Florida. Tomorrow, some of this boundary will still be there in northern and central Florida, so the risk does continue there for tomorrow. But tonight's threat is all about this line of storms. To the north, a surge forward of those very strong winds is moving east of Valdosta, and so a wind threat right along the Georgia-Florida line. Down towards the Gulf, however, there's a little bit more of that circulation potential from the embedded kind of circulations kicked up from the outflow boundary from this morning's storms. You can actually see some of the storms associated with that all the way out here, and then that boundary goes right through like this, along or maybe just south of I-10, and that's helping to kick up those spin-ups for the tornado warning that is still in play here until 8:30 local time for Taylor County. And now, this is not one, giant tornado moving through the county west to east. Instead, it's several small rotation spots along this line. One of them is right here, one right here. There's probably one embedded within that mess of rain east of Perry also. And so I say probably because you just can't tell where the circulation is by looking at where the rain is the heaviest. What you have to do is look at how those raindrops as they're falling are moving around. And our Doppler radar system lets us do that, where the reds and greens are next to each other, close to those surges forward. So there's our surge forward. There's one of those circulations. Here's a surge forward, and there's one of those circulations. We can continue up the line to here, and maybe one just north of Perry as well, although that one's the most questionable of the three. The three down the line, honestly, the further south you go, the better those rotations look. And so let's hope it stays as a waterspout and never really forms on land. No clear indication of debris at this point, so that is good news. Again, I mentioned that we have a big surge forward. It's basically going right over the radar site here in South Georgia. So very gusty winds making its way through that kind of Georgia-Florida line area. And Alex, that's the whole show. That's the whole game in town. Flooding rains to the north, including to near Charleston. Severe weather moving through the Florida Panhandle and South Georgia right now.
Yeah, thanks so much, Mark. I know it does look like places like Savannah will be more in the rain than the severe weather. So, Reynolds, perhaps a little bit of good news for you. Looks like you've got that steady rain moving in, and I think the severe threat's going to stay a little higher, well off to your south.
Hey, we'll take whatever silver lining we absolutely can, but it is true that just that rain itself could pose a threat, possibly some flooding in low-lying areas. That certainly could occur. We've had really a little bit of lightning, a little bit of thunder earlier in the afternoon, but that has since subsided, and like you said, really rain has been the story. It's been kind of intermittent at times, some heavier showers that come through, but then just kind of light to moderate, but more than expected, possibly overnight and into the early morning hours. Now, across the Savannah River, we're taking a look at some of the structures. Nice building there with I don't know if you can see the heart actually made out of the windows. Pretty nice. And I'll tell you, this is truly one of the true gems, the heart of the Southeast. I mean, Savannah, just a gorgeous place with a lot of tall trees, home to roughly 340,000 people to call this area home. And tonight it is going to be a rainy night for them. As we take a look at radar, you really see, just as Alex laid out for you beautifully, the heaviest rainfall actually well to the south of us for the time being, at least the roughest stuff, but still rain expected through the Savannah area. We can expect that again to last overnight into the morning, but around 9 o'clock or so, I think drier air comes in, gives us a bit of a break, 9 o'clock in the morning, that is, and some sunshine popping up for the rest of your Friday. Then Saturday, a chance of rain moves right back in, but that chance of rain only roughly 20% or so. All right, folks, again, severe weather season, time to really make sure you have your plan together, Alex, the plan in place of where to go, what to do. Severe weather comes calling because we've got a ways to go yet. Alex?
Absolutely. Reynolds, well, thank you so much. I want to send it over to Dr. Nab now. You've been watching the flooding and the threat for it, and unfortunately, we have seen it come to fruition here in extreme southern Alabama. Very heavy rain. We look at a place like Savannah, but up towards Charleston, they've also seen some really heavy rain.
Yeah, this is one of the areas along the Alabama-Florida border that had flash flood warnings and flood warnings earlier today. A number of reports of water-covered roads. And now it is shifting eastward. Savannah, one of the places that could get some flash flooding later tonight or in the overnight period, because here you are about to get socked by some pretty solid rainfall that could last for quite a while. And in Charleston, you've already got some issues. Let's take a look more closely here. It's the only place we've got a flood advisory or a flash flood warning right now, but it's in a very flood vulnerable location. Let's take a look at the current live shot from Charleston. I want to show you what's going on with this flood advisory. Now, this is not as heavy a rain as we saw an hour ago. The really heavy stuff where we got almost 2.5 to 3 inch per hour rain rates, that has moved on, but the rain is far from over. And what you can't see on this shot is how many water-covered roads there are. And that's why the flood advisory is in effect. It is very important to stay off the roads, and as the sun goes down, really hard to tell what road is covered in water and which one is not. So there's the really heavy complex that went through a little while ago, now moving just offshore of Georgetown. But the flood advisory continues till 8:45 local time at least. We'll see if that gets extended. Just some of the recent radar estimated rainfall totals right near Charleston just in 1 hour. 2 inches, and when you add it up over 3 hours, we've had several inches of rain, 3 to 5 inches right there along the coast. So that volume of water falling right in that flood vulnerable town, very, very concerning. Not all that long ago, a report of about 6 inches of water on Ashley Avenue in downtown Charleston. I'm sure that's not the only location with water on the road, so just stay off the roads tonight. And also pretty windy when that complex went through, gusts of more than 40 miles an hour. Now watch what's going to happen overnight tonight with all of this. Here's the future radar. Now, just looking at Charleston and Savannah, for example, it could be several hours of rainfall, could be until well after midnight before the rain ends, at least the heavy stuff ends in Charleston, and it could be raining in Savannah off and on overnight. So, Alex, we do have flood concerns for the southeast that get into that really dangerous nighttime period.
Yeah, so important that you stay put. I mean, right now, a lot of us are able to and supposed to stay home. But if you're somebody who has to head into work, just please use caution. Always remember, turn around, don't drown. I know we say it a lot. We're like your mom, but really important to remember that and live by that. We look at what's happening here across parts of Florida. Again, that's where the severe weather is, with some of that steadier, heavier rain working through coastal parts of Georgia and South Carolina. We watch over the next few hours northern Florida for the severe weather, the gusty, damaging winds, perhaps some spin-ups, some tornado spin-ups along that line, edging closer to the Jacksonville area during the early morning hours of your Friday. So this is going to be a threat that extends after you go to bed. Make sure you have a way to get those warnings. And if you live with a lot of trees around your home, maybe a good idea to just sleep in one of those interior rooms, lowest level. Then you don't even have to worry about rushing to your safe spot. You're already there. Tomorrow morning, you can see a lot of the southeast will be much quieter, save for Florida. Storms continue there during the day. Threat for damaging winds, highest likelihood across North Florida, South Georgia as we go through the next few hours. So trees could come down, power outages could continue to go up. We'll be watching these areas very closely. But as I mentioned, Dr. Nab, tomorrow we've got the threat of storms that continues over Florida. In fact, the next few days.
Yeah, and Central Florida is going to look a lot different this time tomorrow, I think. It's been a warm but pretty day in Tampa today. Same with Orlando. But you are in this prefrontal soup. It's warm, it's moist, and trouble is looming just to your north and northwest. So here's Tampa and Orlando, Central Florida. You see that flow with the cumulus clouds over the peninsula coming straight south to north. That's the Caribbean-style moisture headed northward. And once all of this prefrontal and frontal activity gets over you tomorrow and that front slows down, it's going to be a stormy day. Look at all the activity that's ramping up over the Gulf. If that can happen in the evening over the Gulf, wait till you add the component of the heating of the day tomorrow in the Florida Peninsula. So we're going to watch this surface low head east, and it's going to drag the front over Florida. So let's take a look at that in the model. So here's tonight, and then tomorrow morning, the lows in the mid-Atlantic. The front is pushing the thunderstorms slowly down the peninsula as the day goes on, and you'll add the front and the heating of the day. You'll get widespread showers and thunderstorms in Central Florida. And then by late tomorrow, that front kind of puts on the brakes and it sticks around there. So here's what the setup is for tomorrow. Ahead of the front, lots of moisture, lots of instability, and still enough energy in the atmosphere to get that wind shear, maybe some cells, maybe some supercells, perking up there that could bring some severe hail, severe thunderstorm winds, and maybe an isolated tornado, even starting in the early morning hours tomorrow. But then you add the heating of the day, and the I-4 corridor north and south of there could be especially dangerous. Lightning, heavy rainfall in the mix as well. Now, when the heating of the day goes away tomorrow night, we'll rinse and repeat for Saturday. But for tomorrow and tomorrow night, it's the I-4 corridor, Tampa, Orlando, up to Ocala, even getting into Jacksonville, early in the period during the day tomorrow. And then watch this front as we go from Friday to Saturday. It just kind of hangs up and washes out, and then we get that new low coming across that's going to bring more moisture northward. So, Alex, that low that's coming across the eastern part of the country is going to help keep that front in place. Saturday, Florida Peninsula could be rocking and rolling with storms as well.
Yeah, as you point out, though, they do need the rain. So there's that. Maybe a little bit of good news. I always just hate to get it with the strong or severe storms. Boston looking beautiful this evening. Temperatures right at 50. Overnight, rain moves in, but it's been a stunning evening there into parts of New England. Our Gulf moisture, in fact, our system we're dealing with now spreads all the way up into the northeast, generally looking at rain, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, but not the severe setup like what we have for our friends down to the south. You can see that moderate rain working through sections of northern Virginia and Maryland, some pockets of heavier downpours there. Also some moderate to heavy rain across south central PA. Rain will begin to work towards New York City soon enough. Pittsburgh and Baltimore both in the low 50s with rain showers and cloud cover now. New York, expect that rain within the next few hours. Beyond midnight, it'll be steadier. And so if you're one of those people who sleeps really well with the sound of rain, you're going to do just fine tonight. Might be a tough morning to get out of bed, though, with the rain spreading from Philly to New York up towards Boston, continuing through a good part of the day there in eastern New England. So rain showers eventually moving out by the time we get you into the late evening, watching the next system off towards the west. Rainfall to come for many people. We're going to be looking at an inch or less. Some spots there in Jersey, Delaware, Long Island could exceed an inch, but for many this will be very manageable. Coming up on the show tonight, more on the severe weather threat across sections of the southeast as we track those damaging storms. And of course, we're watching the radar. Mark Elliott, our storm specialist, has an eye on the active warnings, including that tornado warning in the Big Bend area.
The new DQ Chicken and Biscuits basket. 100% white meat chicken strips, plus 100% delicious mini biscuits and fries. Look for drive-thru and takeout options at your DQ. DQ, happy tastes good.
Every home has things it needs, things that need to be maintained, fixed, or replaced. The Home Depot has online ordering, free delivery, and the low prices to help you get it done. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
At Domino's, we pride ourselves on handcrafted pizza. But after leaving our 450-degree ovens, the only hands that touch them are yours. Mix and match any two or more for just $5.99 each and get them with contactless delivery from Domino's.
You like potato.
And you like potato. I like tomato.
I like tomato.
But we'll never call the whole thing off.
Hey, can I go?
Hold on one second.
Sure.
Okay. Safe driver, save 40%. Guys.
Check it out. Safe driver, save 40%.
Safe driver, save 40%.
Safe driver, save 40%.
That's Safe Driver Save 40%.
It is. That's Safe Driver Save 40%.
It's right there.
It's him. He's here.
He's right here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey. That's totally him.
That's him.
That's totally the guy.
Safe drivers do save 40%. Click or call for a quote today.
We may not be able to gather together, but we can grill together. Oscar Mayer invites you to take your backyard cookouts to the front. On May 2nd, join us for the Oscar Mayer Front Yard Cookout. Enjoy sharing a meal together, but safely apart, while we share 1 million meals with Feeding America. And every time you use the hashtag Front Yard Cookout, Oscar Mayer will donate an additional meal, up to 1 million more through the month of May. Let's head out front and give back.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Every ink for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
Hey, Guy. Hi there. Welcome to HIMS.
I should have done it years ago, and I feel like the young stud that I always imagined I was.
Outstanding product. Works above and beyond our expectations.
This has been a life changer, even in just a few weeks.
Featured in GQ, Playboy, and Men's Health. Find out what all the buzz is about.
Go to forhims.com/ED and get started with a free online visit while supplies last.
At touchofmodern.com, you'll find products that defy expectations for those who seek the extraordinary. Tents brave the Arctic. Coffee tables chill drinks. Rowers are powered by water. And that's just the beginning. Go to touchofmodern.com and venture through a curated collection of the highest quality in fashion, tech, and home, with new items added every day. touchofmodern.com. Lead the pack. Be the first to discover all the novel and noteworthy products the world has to offer.
Is that coming this way?
Oh my God. Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather at 8 and Deadline to Disaster at 9. Next Sunday night, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 47 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, rain, low 46. Rainfall near a half an inch. Friday, rain, high 50. Chance of rain, 90%. Rainfall around a half an inch. Friday night, a shower is possible early. Partly cloudy, low 41. Here's our 7-day outlook.
That's where we were at. Right there in that corner, huddled down.
And describe what the sound was like and what you were hearing.
We were hearing a train. That's what I can tell you. Train, wind. We heard the roof come off. And that's when everybody started freaking out because the house just is going like this and being picked up and slammed. And you could hear the roof being peeled off. And there's a shelf up there with me and my dad that passed away, beer collection from upside down labels and stuff that you don't make no more. And the A&W root beer that was made in the 70s. That was started falling down. Jars came out of here. The cat came from the other bedroom, jumped in that cupboard, took its paw and closed it and hid inside there. And everybody wanted to get up. And I still heard it off in the distance. I'm like, no, let's stay. And then we were gonna go to my back neighbor, George, but there was power lines and trees all over the place and you couldn't get back there. And we went across the street to his house and I got the kids over there.
All right, there you're hearing from one of those survivors. Mark, I'm so glad he's okay, but I had to giggle a little bit about the cat because isn't that the most cat thing, that the cat's only thinking of itself? It's
Save
just like,
yourself. I'm good. I found my shelter. You're on your own, people.
He's like, the cat came from the other room, jumped in the cabinet, and closed the door. It's not worried about the rest of its family.
Yeah,
you know,
not at all.
Some levity in an otherwise, bad situation.
Yeah,
but
rule number 1 is follow the animals unless it's a cat, because the cat's not going to let you in.
The cat is not helping you. The cat is shutting the door. But yeah, some scary scenes there last night in the state of Texas as we were watching that supercell. Tonight, tornado threat's going to be a little different. If anything, some spin-ups along the line. But Mark, you've been watching the likelihood that we get some really strong winds, and the power outage numbers are telling that story.
Absolutely. Basically, wherever this line of storms has gone across the Florida Panhandle, we are seeing power outages. There's such a tree-heavy canopy here, right? There is so much tree coverage that it really doesn't take much with these strong thunderstorm winds and then some embedded tornado circulations to knock down those trees onto power lines. So power is an issue tonight. A few more hours of this tornado watch in the Tallahassee metro area. The west side is already cleared. However, this line of storms will be moving through the rest of North Florida, and there tornado watch continues until midnight. So tornado watch until midnight for most of the rest of this area that is still highlighted in red. Now, the worst of that weather is here with this line of storms from South Georgia into the Gulf of Mexico in the Florida Panhandle, about to cross over I-75 as well. And within that, several areas with some circulation potential. We've been following this clustering of storms for Taylor County through Perry. Perry, you're done. You might not even get another drop of rain tonight. But the newest warning that has just been issued is a little bit off to the east from there. important to give you the latest info on that. That's Lafayette and Taylor counties. This whole area, let me kind of just do this. I'm going to change this. Instead of the rainfall mode, where the rain is the heaviest, I want you to look at basically the character of the circulation of those raindrops. There's two little couplets right in here and right in here where the reds and greens are right next to each other. This could be a tornado moving on off towards Mayo. This could be a tornado moving towards Branford or so over time. Those circulations are holding strong. However, there's also a circulation just off the coast about to get back towards Perry County, so this part of the warning is still watching out for that. So I think these two are highlighted very well in that area headed towards Mayo. This one might need another warning that looks something kind of like this to Cross City or just north of there if these circulations can hold together just off the coast. So that's the nature of these tonight, that it's real tough to know exactly which one of those spin-up areas is going to produce a tornado, if any, or maybe all of them could, but they change so drastically scan to scan and moment to moment that you're just not going to get a lot of enhanced warning. One of those kinks in the line here and one here, and then that third is just waiting in the wings just off the coastline. And so all of these could be producing tornadoes tonight. As for any debris being launched into the air, we can go back and forth between the correlation coefficient. So like this is the area that should be all rain. And if in the correlation, if there's blue or green, it means it's not a symmetrical shape. It's not a raindrop or a hailstone falling down through the sky. And in that very area, it's almost exclusively red. So we're not seeing a clear sign of any debris being lofted into the air, and that is very good news. Now, farther north, look at this signature right in here. Very strong winds are pointed at Fargo. This is Columbia, Eccles, Hamilton County, severe thunderstorm warning. But sometimes when you see this kind of wrapped up feature, there could be a tornado kind of hanging back in that come-ahead area. And so a quick look at the velocity mode does not show anything jumping out yet, but it does show very strong winds that are pointed towards the Fargo area. So this is an area of concern as well, just for the tree damage and the power line problems. Alex mentioned the power issues. How about this? You think we know where the storms have gone so far? Now, a lot of this is from yesterday. Today's storms are right in here. And in more detail, we can look at Florida being the #1 state for power outages by customers. It's really been ramping up since the mid-afternoon hours when the storm started. And all of the counties that the storms came through in the Panhandle have some sort of outage at this point. It is not South Florida with those outages. It's all the Panhandle storms. We'll be right back.
Breakfast wants you back. Try Just Crack an Egg, packed with real potatoes, veggies, meat, and cheese. Just add a fresh egg for a hot scramble in less than 2 minutes to get those warm, fuzzy feelings again. Take breakfast back. Find it in the egg aisle.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just one drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right in the cells that make them itch. Fast. Just one drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription. Everywhere.
State Farm is announcing the Good Neighbor Relief Program.
We're returning $2 billion to our auto policyholders through May 31st.
Because now, more than ever, being a good neighbor means everything. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health.
The bond between a mother elephant and her calf is one of the closest of any mammal on Earth. Calves rely completely on their mothers as they learn to survive in the wild. But threats, such as ivory poaching, leave many young elephants orphaned and facing an uncertain future. But WWF is working to protect elephants from meeting this tragic fate, and we need your help. You can support WWF's efforts to protect elephants and other species and habitats around the world. For just $8 a month, you can symbolically adopt an elephant and receive this gift as our way of saying thank you. Call us or visit mywwf.org today. We need your help. Please, act now.
Hey, Boston.
Hey, Atlanta.
Hola, Miami.
Local Now is here for you.
Hi, New York. Hey, LA. Chicago.
To get you through life's new normal.
Hey, America.
Trust me, you're going to love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average on.
This is the place to be. Something for everyone. Local Now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you,
Domino's is hiring.
Head to jobs.domino's.com
And apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
We're committed to helping you put food on your table.
Oh, it's close.
Incredible videos, but you see the damage, and unfortunately last night's storms proved to be deadly. At least 7 people killed across 3 states. I'm meteorologist Alex Wilson alongside our storm specialist Mark Elliott for special extended live coverage of storms again tonight. You know, Mark, it's been a tough day out there just over the last 2 days, and we're still dealing with severe weather. Today's storms maybe look more like, you know, the inside of a tropical system.
Yeah. They do. There's so much wind with these today that the raindrops are getting pulverized, and it looks like you're inside a washing machine here, Alex.
It really does. I imagine this is what's going on inside a washing machine or a dishwasher or, you know, a car wash gone berserk. You can see the tree leaves and small limbs blowing one way. It seems like the wind's blowing the rain the other way, caught up in the mix. And unfortunately, across parts of Alabama, Florida, Georgia, we've seen the power outages from the resulting winds. There's trees, a lot of those coming down onto roads as well.
I can't believe these people were, you know, brave enough to be standing there. I would have been afraid of the trees falling, if not worse. With it looked like a tornado. It sure did, right?
Absolutely.
Now, you're not going to get the picturesque tornadoes that you had yesterday evening. You may still have tornadoes, though. This is a very different character for the storms tonight. Embedded circulation along a line of storms that's moving through the Florida Panhandle. Basically, if you still have storms coming in North Florida or South Georgia, your risk continues until midnight. We're starting to trim back this risk, you know, Valdosta to Perry, where the storms have already basically gone through now. But this is the line of storms that we're watching. And within there, not only do we have a widespread severe thunderstorm warning for very strong straight line winds, but we also have these embedded circulations. Lafayette County has a tornado warning for potentially 2 different circulations that are headed through right now. You can't really pick out a supercell here because that's not the kind of storm that we're seeing. This is the line of thunderstorms that if you were just using this mode of the radar, you would think it was straight line winds as your biggest threat. However, you get these little circulations along that front edge. A little bit tough to see out of this radar site. We're getting into a little bit of no man's land land. Let me move this back just a bit. We'll pick up the Tallahassee radar, and then there's that surge forward, and so one of those circulations is right here and another one right here. That's what the National Weather Service offices are doing, using all the tools at their disposal to show you where those circulations may be, and then, you know, raise the alarm a bit by saying this area needs a tornado warning, while the rest of this zone is seeing very strong straight line winds. No immediate threat of tornadoes, but that whole area that I showed you in the rain is now actually dropping out of red and into yellows and greens, which usually indicates a different material in the air. Alex, in this case, I'm willing to bet it's probably a bunch of leaves that are being blown off the trees by the straight line winds that are moving through the area. Yeah, hopeful that that is what it is. I mean, we saw it in that video before Mark's segment. Well, along the coast of Georgia, we've begun to see some moderate rain move in, and that rain thunderstorms will continue. Now, Reynolds, we talk about how heavy that rain is and how saturated the ground is. It doesn't take a really strong thunderstorm to maybe bring down a tree, so we still have to watch for some of those gusty showers.
Oh, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, right now we just got very light to moderate rain. I mean, nothing too heavy, really small raindrops. But if we walk over here for just a little bit, you can tell the ground is kind of like a trampoline, very squishy. Does squishy work? Well, it's going to work for this broadcast, that's for sure. That's what we have. And over here in the distance, there's a few ponds here or there, or ponding, as it were. And you can also see the high water mark of where the water came up and then receded very quickly back into the rocking Savannah River. But again, as Alex mentioned, we've got more rain that's going to be on the way. More showers and occasional, maybe light boom with thunder, but much of the rougher activity a bit more to the south. Still some issues, though. Charleston could have some flooding conditions, and certainly around the greater Savannah area, we could have some low-lying area where the water tends to collect. So just be careful if you have to be out and about on this dark and gloomy night. All right, folks, that's the latest that we have for you in terms of the rain in Savannah. Again, expected to continue for overnight, Alex, into the early morning hours. Hopefully by late morning, midday, we get a little bit of a break before another shot of rainfall into the weekend. Alex, back to you. Yeah, get a little time to get the dogs outside for a nice walk, so that way everybody's not going crazy inside, right? Well, coming up on Weather Underground, our countdown to hurricane season continues with important information on what you need to take with you if you are called on to evacuate, and why it might be a little bit more complicated this year. And of course, we'll check back in with Mark watching those storms moving through South Georgia and North Florida right now.
The new DQ Chicken and Biscuits basket. 100% white meat chicken strips, plus 100% delicious mini biscuits and fries. Look for drive-thru and takeout options at your DQ. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
In the next minute, an animal who's been cruelly abused by a thoughtless owner might not survive. Every minute of every day in America, animals are feeling the pain of being abused or neglected. These animals have done nothing to deserve this treatment. And if you agree, then it's time to do something about it. It only takes a minute to help, but it's a minute that will matter more than you can imagine to an animal who's being hurt. So I hope you'll take this minute right now and visit this website or call the number on your screen. Join with your gift of just $19 a month, and you can rescue innocent animals from endless suffering. The next minute could mean the difference between life and death for an animal who's being hurt. It's just 63 cents a day, and I can tell you, you will make a difference. So I'm asking you, please, visit our easy-to-use website on any device or call this toll-free number now. And if you join in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this membership kit. It comes with a magazine subscription, an animal photo, and this limited edition Animal Champion t-shirt designed exclusively for our new monthly supporters. Please go online or call now and don't delay, because there's an animal being abused right now, and the next minute of their life could really depend on you.
It's a small finger, a worm.
Like a dagger?
Tiny sword.
Breadstick.
Matchstick.
A lamppost.
Coin slot. No.
10 seconds. A stick, a walking stick, a foundry, Mount Kilimanjaro, big
Sorry. It's a tandem bicycle.
What?
As long as sloths are slow, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Well, today we've been getting in some new video of that deadly tornado there in Medill, Oklahoma last night. Here, a close-up of that structure. I'm thinking this is the one that we saw the opposite side of the building after the storm had rolled through, but serious damage to this building, and you can see how close we are to all of that flying debris. Yet another reason why you don't want to be out in these storms. You're looking at sheet metal, other pieces of wood, 2x4s, nails. Think of everything that's got to be flying around in that wind. Gosh, Mark, you know, I look at this and I think this is way too close. I mean, you can hear that freight train sound that everybody reports.
Yeah, very close, and it's amazing what's, I guess that might be the rain that's hitting that roof and then spraying forward. That it was like a different color. I couldn't tell if that was dust or maybe sawdust coming from whatever was inside that building, or if it was water that was then spraying off that roof. That was bonkers video.
Yeah, it was really intense because you could definitely see the direction of the wind and how the wind was so intense on that roof, and that's why, again, I think that's the building we saw after the fact where there was very little roof left.
Absolutely. And then this is the scene even farther down the road. Rainbow, debris cloud, condensation funnel, you name it, it's in this picture. Just wild video from yesterday.
Yeah, really incredible stuff there over the state of Oklahoma. We had 3 storms lined up there, all tornado warned, and then of course our supercell thunderstorm. There's what Mark was talking about. Yeah, that is.
What is that?
I don't know.
I can't tell if that. I think it might be something from inside the building. Like maybe that is a lumber yard or something. There was a bunch of sawdust or smoke from a chimney there. But what so strange that it changed the color, and then it almost leads to a small rainbow before the rest of the rainbow gets going right here.
Yeah.
So it's water of some kind.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe like a fire hydrant broke off and there was actually water spraying into the air, and then the wind from the tornado was picking that up.
Yeah, I actually think that you might be onto something there, because it does look like it looks like it's water, because you can also see the dust. So on one side of the camera we see the dust, then we see that much lighter in color what appeared to be water. I mean, he follows the evolution of this storm, and unfortunately we did see a mobile home park was destroyed by this one, but then again, you don't get complete views quite like this one. This one was a really picturesque storm. You could see very well that condensation funnel, as you mentioned, the debris cloud at the surface, and then of course our rainbow.
Yeah, unbelievable. You know, we still have that chance for some tornadoes tonight. I don't think they're going to look anything like the tornadoes that we had yesterday. Yesterday was a day of widespread, long-lasting supercell tornadoes. If there was a tornado, it was all on its own, maybe a cluster of them, but each individual one was all on its own. They were supercells. These tornadoes tonight are embedded circulations along a line of thunderstorms from way across Georgia all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. Almost that entire line has a severe thunderstorm warning for very gusty winds. The small sections of that are also rotating. That's where we have the tornado warnings. That's Lafayette County here in the Florida Panhandle, just outside of I-75 and just south of I-10. So west of 75, south of 10. Here's a closer look at that tornado warning, and then the motion of the raindrops. A strong rotation signature here, and maybe not as strong, but still a rotation signature there. So 2 different rotation spots that are working their way through the area, and that that first one may now have a little bit of debris. Let's go back and forth here between the radar, and yeah, that's a little bit more ominous. I think there may be some debris right on the southern side of that warning, due north from Cross City, working towards 27 and eventually 75. So unfortunately, Alex, we're not done with the threat yet tonight.
And we're going to continue to watch that in the hours to come. Make sure you have a way to get the alerts, because with some of you, it's going to be once you're sleeping, likely that these storms move through. And then we've got less than 6 weeks to the official start of the 2020 hurricane season. So we want to help you and your family get ready. Dr. Knapp is sharing the top 5 things you need to know about hurricane evacuations. And today it's all about, what do I need to bring with me if I'm told to evacuate?
You know, and Alex, this is another example of one of those things that you need to think through before it's actually happening.
Right.
Advanced preparation matters so much. And when you think about what you're going to take with you when you evacuate from a storm surge area, from a mobile home, you got to take things not just for your comfort, but for your physical safety, your health, and for your financial security, including taking important papers with you, because if you evacuate for storm surge, which you got to do for life safety, you need to also realize that there could be flooding or other damage at your home afterward. You're going to want those papers away from your home with you to file that claim and take cash with you as well. But then, Alex, we got to talk about the pandemic. Yeah. It adds to the critical supplies you need to take with you, whether you're evacuating to a shelter or ideally someone's home. You want to take the sanitizer, you want to take the mask, anything you can do to lessen the spread of the virus.
Yeah, and of course, being around a family friend or a family member will limit how many people you come into contact with.
Yeah, don't let social distancing keep you from evacuating, and that's why these supplies are so important.
And then we talk about, to us, the most important thing that sometimes people, I don't want to say forget, but they think it's okay to leave behind and they'll be safe. But with flooding such an issue with recent storms, you got to take your pets with you.
Yeah, and there have been recommendations out there in some places over the years to, leave your pets at home, give them food and water, and they'll be fine. But if your home is going to flood and you're evacuating for storm surge, your pets need to evacuate just as much as you need to. But that also calls to mind what we talked about yesterday, identifying where you're going to evacuate to. Make sure the shelter you're going to or the friend's house you're going to is okay with you bringing pets.
Right, and a lot of times it's easier to do that than to find one of the public shelters, because not all of them do allow pets. So what are we doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow we're going to bring it all together and we'll go through how critical it is that you follow evacuation instructions to save your life, because storm surge can still kill so many people in one day. We're going to go through all the things you need to do to avoid all of the impediments to evacuation.
Well, this has been some really great information and things that we can work on now ahead of the season. Coming up, we're going to get back to the storms tonight. Mark Elliott tracking those when we return.
Breakfast wants you back. Try Just Crack an Egg, packed with real potatoes, veggies, meat, and cheese. Just add a fresh egg for a hot scramble in less than 2 minutes to get those warm, fuzzy feelings again. Take breakfast back. Find it in the egg aisle.
This is no ordinary sub shop. This is Firehouse Subs, where our family of restaurant owners and local crews are still making mouth-watering, hot, hearty subs just the way you like them. It's easy to order online at firehousesubs.com or use the Firehouse Subs app. Your order will be boxed, bagged, and ready for pickup or delivery. And remember, a portion of every purchase at Firehouse Subs helps support first responders. Visit firehousesubs.com to order pickup or delivery.
Does your battery deliver extra life or extra power?
Extra life.
Extra power.
Extra life.
Extra power.
Extra life.
Power.
Life.
Power.
Extra life.
No need to argue. Versus Copper Top, Duracell Optimum delivers extra life in some devices or extra power in others.
With Dish, you get the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once.
Huh?
Why so many?
See you in the morning. Okay, bye, Sounds great. Come here.
Because we know more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Record up to 16 shows at once. Dish, tuned in to you.
Fred would do anything for his daughter.
Get in, Fred.
Even if it means being the back half of a unicorn. Fear not, Fred. The front half washed the shirt with Gain detergent. That's the scent that puts the giddy in giddy up. The irresistible scent of Gain. For a scent with even more giddy up, try Gain Scent Blast and detergent, fabric softener, and scent beads.
Jim and Joanne are here to pick up the same prescription.
They both know the system is not on their side. They both know drug costs are out of control. But one of them is taking back control with GoodRx. Next. So while he's paying that much, even with his insurance, she's paying this much just by using GoodRx. Use GoodRx to compare prices at pharmacies in your area and stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today and take back control.
Hey, Guy. Hi there. Welcome to HIMSS.
Should have done it years ago, and I feel like the young stud that I always imagined I was.
Outstanding product. Works above and beyond our expectations.
This has been a life changer, even in just a few weeks.
Featured in GQ, Playboy, and Men's Health. Find out what all the buzz is about.
Go to forhims.com/ED and get started with a free online visit while supplies last.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 47 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, rain, low 46. Rainfall near ½ inch. Friday, rain, high 50. Chance of rain, 90%. Rainfall around ½ inch. Friday night, a shower is possible early. Partly cloudy, low 41. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to Weather Underground. You thought your severe weather was done for the night in places like Panama City? Well, probably, but that doesn't mean you're done with the rain. This is a live view of Panama City Beach, and with that kind of striated look, those lines coming down on the bottom third of your screen, that is rain. And while watching this camera, there's a decent amount of lightning that we've seen at times here. You know, while I'm talking, it's probably not going to do it just because, you know, Murphy's Law, you're not going to get to see it. But I promise you, there's been some lightning on this camera as well as another line of storms is moving through. On the radar, we can show you this line of storms approaching also. Here's Panama City and Panama City Beach. Another line of storms has developed back closer to our cold front. And so you had all that severe weather, and tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. We were talking about tornado warnings north of Tallahassee. This next line could come your way as well. Let's put this into a loop, and you can see how all this came together. It's a very moist atmosphere still, and a bit of a lightning jump in the past several moments. So we're just not done yet. I don't think this is going to turn severe, but it doesn't mean that there won't be more rain, and every lightning strike is severe, so keep that in mind. And if you were watching carefully on that kind of lower image underneath me, you just saw some of those lightning strikes. So believe me, they're out there. That's probably not the severe side of things anymore. That's farther east. This is a tornado watch that continues until midnight for northeast Florida for the line of storms that came through Panama City and Tallahassee earlier, still giving us tornado warnings as well as widespread severe thunderstorm warnings for straight line winds. The rotating wind component is still a problem, and we're getting a new tornado warning because of that. We'll zoom in first on Lafayette County, where right in here, I think there is the potential for a tornado. We have this couplet right here, that lower side of the warning, and within that zone, there's been a bit of a dropout on the correlation coefficient, meaning it may be some debris. Hopefully, it's just light stuff like leaves being ripped off the trees, as opposed to homes being at play, but that is something that we need to watch very carefully. As we move this down the row, the National Weather Service is monitoring that stronger rotation couplet right there and that potential for a tornado. So they've already warned all the way to I-75. Brand new warning for Columbia, Gilchrist, and Suwannee counties there in Florida, approaching High Springs, approaching Branford and Fort White. In fact, just down to the south from there, also a brand new circulation has also started to surge forward. This one for Dixie and southern portions of Lafayette. And so we can look at what the rotation looks like in that side of things. Now, this is the stronger one right in here. We're farther from the radar site for this next component outside Cross City, so it's harder for us to see it, but there's a bit of a circulation right in here. Both of those could be producing tornadoes. I do want to time out that circulation for you as it makes its way into one of the newer warnings towards I-75. Hatch Bend by about 9 o'clock or so, Sandy Point just after the top of the hour, and then getting towards High Springs and right along I-75 by about 9:25 if it holds together. So again, that's just kind of how we've been going through this setup tonight with these kind of bowing and flexing along the line of storms like this, and each one of those little wiggles that you're seeing here, here, and here could produce tornadoes, and then it's a straight line wind threat with this big curling segment through the rest of North Florida. Any of these thunderstorms are going to be tall enough to tap into some very strong winds aloft. And that means a pronounced wind threat for the rest of the Georgia coast, maybe portions of the South Carolina coast, and the rest of North Florida as these thunderstorms come through. If there's a tall enough storm to give you thunder, it's tall enough to push down that wind from aloft and give you wind damage, and that's why the power outage threat continues to build through the rest of this evening and tonight, Alex.
Yeah, a lot of locations still need to watch. It's been really saturated across parts of Georgia and South Carolina as well, so down trees could be an issue moving forward. New York City, nice night there for you. You've got the rain moving in shortly, 45 degrees on your thermometer currently, with rain again advancing in from the south. By the time we get beyond midnight, I think that's when you'll see the steadiest, heaviest rain showers, so expect to hear the raindrops on the rooftop. If you're anything like me, though, you sleep great when that happens. Have some moderate rain across south central PA into parts of northern Virginia, parts of Maryland, getting over into the Delmarva Peninsula as well. Pittsburgh, Charleston, Indianapolis, all reporting at least some light rain with temperatures in the low to mid 50s. Baltimore, same story. You're at 53 degrees right now. Again, the heaviest rain, the thunderstorms, that's focused to the south. We could get some thunderstorms, but more likely than not, we're going to be dealing with just some steady rain working in. Overnight, you can see from New York to Boston that rain lifting northward. So we get you into tomorrow morning around 8 o'clock. Might be a tough one to get the dogs to go outside. If yours are anything like mine, they almost try to psych you out at the door because you're standing there with a towel trying to dry off their feet. We had that battle this morning. Cross sections of the mid-Atlantic, do be prepared for the possibility of some thunderstorms. I don't think we're looking at a big severe threat, though, with these storms. But obviously, as Mark has said, any storm that's bringing you lightning is going to be a dangerous one. There's New York City again. Steadiest rain moving in as we head through the overnight hours and into your Friday morning. Well, for all of us here at Weather Underground, we thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night. And remember, together we know more. Our coverage continues next with meteorologist Paul Goodlow and Colleen Coyle.
I'm your mother-in-law, and I like to question your every move, like this left turn.
It's the next one.
You always drive this slow.
How did you make someone I love?
That must be why you're always so late.
I do not speed, and that's saving me cash with DriveWise.
You always drive like an old lady?
You're an old lady.
Did you know Prilosec OTC can stop frequent heartburn before it begins? Heartburn happens when stomach acid refluxes into the esophagus. Prilosec OTC uses a unique delayed-release formula that helps it pass through the tough stomach acid. It then works to turn down acid production, blocking heartburn at the source. With just one pill a day, you get 24-hour heartburn protection. Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just one drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right on the cells that make them itch. Fast, just one drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription, everywhere.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Every ink for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
Service isn't just a department. It's a voice on the other end of the phone.
A note to say you're on our mind. A willingness to come to you.
The world and how we interact with each other is changing, but that will never change who we are at Lexus.
Now, more than ever, you and your needs come first.
Find out what service options are available in your area at lexus.com/people first.
What do we want for dinner?
Burgers! I want a sugar cookie. I want a bucket of chicken. I want...
It's the easiest because it's the cheesiest. Kraft for the win-win.
Wreck your Sunday nights with the cruise of Highway Through Hell.
What kind of house that's sitting where it ain't supposed to be sitting?
And Heavy Rescue.
A lot of battle here. Oh, boy.
Back-to-back episodes, non-stop action.
They don't call it Heavy Recovery for nothing.
Don't miss all new episodes of Highway Through Hell at 8 and Heavy Rescue at 9. Sunday nights on the Weather Channel.
I said it once and I'll say it again. I love my job.
We got breaking weather here, still watching and tracking severe weather, including tornado warnings ongoing across northern Florida, crossing over the Interstate 75 corridor right now. Abundant lightning and potential tornadoes. Again, this entire region in the areas of southern Georgia under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock this evening. Wouldn't be surprised to see this pushed even longer. A new one issued as well. Getting in and around this area, seeing a line of strong and severe thunderstorms. Some possibly even producing tornadoes as it comes right across the I-75 corridor here. We have right now 4 separate tornado warnings for Columbia, Gilchrist, Suwannee counties there until 9:30, and even closer in we can kind of see very numerous kinks in the line. Lafayette County, as well as Dixie County, Alachua County, Columbia County, all under tornado warnings, and even Taylor County as well. So again, over the next 15 to perhaps even 30 minutes, 4 separate tornado warnings for different rotating parts of these thunderstorms rolling across this area of northern Florida, heading on towards Lake City, heading on towards High Springs, heading on towards that Interstate 75 corridor at this evening. Again, we're extending our coverage here at the Weather Channel to bring you coverage of this severe weather threat as we head throughout the evening. Now, right now, we kind of changed the mode on the radar to kind of show where the radar picks up possible rotation. That's why these warnings are being issued. And there are several lines right there dealing with where that green and red come together. That's the indication of rotation on the radar. So a good sign once you see it aloft. It could possibly start eventually heading on down towards the ground. So that's how Doppler radar indicates tornadoes, as what we're seeing right now across parts of northern Florida here. We've had countless warnings throughout the evening and earlier today, and we're still watching this continue across the area. So again, the I-75 corridor, you're seeing some heavy rain, especially closer towards the Georgia line here, but the perhaps tornadic thunderstorms, it's a matter of time before they start moving across the northern part of the state as well, and potentially even cross over that I-10 corridor as well. So we time this whole line out. It's heading on towards Jacksonville as we head over the next half hour or so. And the timing of this, they're doing the virtual draft with the Jaguars tonight, and they could be dealing with severe weather from now right on through, perhaps past the midnight hour as well. Then we have another chance even tomorrow what's going on here. This line also extends into parts of Georgia and South Carolina. The good news is here in South Carolina, things are quieting down, at least across parts of Myrtle Beach and the northern coastal sections of South Carolina, but still watching this line approach places like Savannah, Georgia, even Augusta, seeing some heavy rain right now, but nothing in terms of the severe components at this time. And Atlanta, you got some storms popping up in the far western suburbs, but we're not quite done. The cold front hasn't quite cleared out yet. We still have this line that's already pushed on through Nashville, heading on towards Chattanooga, and even the I-59 corridor. We'll see these storms come this way. Not severe, though. In fact, our risk of tornadoes south of Atlanta. I wouldn't say zero in Atlanta, but much greater in southern Georgia into northern Florida. That's the area we're concerned about as we head throughout the next several hours in the overnight period here. And also, this is all ahead of our front. We have another line of storms that will probably develop as our cold front finally pushes on through. So this evening, we still have a torque on up, mainly for northern Florida and parts of the Upper Peninsula
for 3. That's a scale of 1 to 10, so a 3. It's fortunately not as high as a 6 or a 7, but the concern is it's not 0. So there's still a risk of tornadoes. And again, we have those 4 separate tornado warnings going on in North Florida at this time. And again, even Tallahassee, looks like the storms are pretty much upon us now. Things start clearing out, but then we'll see another push of storms coming on later this evening. So it's still going to be a big concern for severe weather overnight and into tomorrow morning before things start quieting down across parts of the Florida Panhandle. But I also mentioned that we're seeing these storms on the move into parts of Georgia as well, coastal Georgia. Let's get a live look at current conditions along the coast and check in with my colleague Reynolds Wolf, who's joining us from the Savannah area. Reynolds, I know you have some rain in the area, but the big concern is the storms could be strong and severe as we head overnight.
The way it's been for us today, Paul, right now, as you can tell at home, we've got some light to moderate showers that are coming down. We've had some downpours that have been fairly heavy, but at times relatively light, almost a pause in the action. But it was around 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon where we did have some thunderstorms that really had quite a pop. And you know, I'll tell you, as we roll forward in time, it looks like rain is going to be the #1 threat. But Paul's right. There is a chance we could have some storms that could provide some stronger wind gusts. And with that, well, something that could be susceptible to problems would be this tree that you see right behind me. And that's one of the things you have in beautiful Savannah, is that it is known for its beauty, and the trees, my gosh, they match the architecture of this beautiful area. Unfortunately, though, the tall trees, and you've got the wet soil, and you have the strong winds at times, the straight lines. Well, something's got to give, and occasionally it can be those trees, which are almost like the sails on a clipper ship. Well, speaking of sailing, we are right along the Savannah River, which goes up from the Atlantic to the Port of Savannah, some 18 miles, and we're walking on this river walk, which typically would be busy this time of year, but obviously very quiet, as America is taking a pause and taking precautions because of COVID-19. So, folks, let me tell you, we still have some other cautions we worry about and that we are concerned about, and that is, as Paul mentioned, the tornadic activity that we've seen displayed across parts of Florida. But still, we'd see more of those problems as we make our way into tomorrow. So Orlando, yeah, we're talking Central Florida. As we always tell everyone, have that plan in place of where to go. So if severe weather comes calling, you don't have to sit and think about it like crazy. You can act instinctively, and it really does make a difference to have that kind of plan, because we're not done with severe season yet. Got a ways to go, and then, of course, right around the bend, we've got tropical season, too, that we've got to contend with. So preparedness is key. Every second, every moment you have to get to shelter can make the difference between life and death. Lowest floor away from walls and windows. But the situation that you have in a place like here, you'll notice the ponding we have here. This wasn't even an issue earlier today, but now we've got again, the parking lot's kind of flooded, a lot of the water coming through. So, Colleen, I'll tell you, we have another couple of heavy showers, and some of them slow movers, slower cells. We see more water stack up, and there's still that potential, that threat that we need to watch out for overnight. Should get a break in the action, Colleen. No, we think around 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, guys, it's been a long day. 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, but drier times, and then possibly more rain as we get into Saturday. Back to you, Colleen.
Yes, thank you, Reynolds. And yeah, Florida still has a lot of weather on the way as we head into tomorrow. Right now, another round of severe storms on tap for cities across the Sunshine State. For your Friday, you're taking a live look from Orlando, Florida right now, where there's a big risk for severe thunderstorms on Friday. The main threats could include frequent lightning strikes, wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, and also some small quarter-size hail, even the possibility of a tornado. And so I want to look ahead and show you what to be prepared for here in Florida, because I know a lot of folks just west of Gainesville right now seeing those tornado warnings, and then we're going to have more severe weather on the way for parts of Florida, as well as heavy rain for tomorrow. There's those current warnings just outside of Gainesville here. There's Jacksonville still getting a lot of rain. This has been moving through South Georgia, also the northern part of Florida most of the day today. Now, I want to focus on tomorrow. This threat kind of moves into Ocala and also around Orlando, where thunderstorms are going to be possible for tomorrow. This could even dive a little farther south into the state around Sarasota as well as Vero Beach. Tomorrow, the ingredients set up just like today. We have a cold front coming through, abundant moisture all across this area, ahead and along that front. As it rolls through, we have a lot of instability, and so not only could we have some great rainfall producers, but we could also have that severe weather pop up. We have a lot of energy available, a lot of fuel for these thunderstorms to start getting going, especially as we head into the afternoon. And our winds, we always talk about our turn in the atmosphere, what we call shear. That's where we get that tornado threat. And for tomorrow, we will have some stronger winds aloft that could bring in a little bit of lift, a little bit of turn in the atmosphere. atmosphere, and that could bring in that tornado threat across central Florida as we head into tomorrow. Future radar plays out like this as we head into midnight tonight into the early wee hours of Friday morning. You're just going to see some scattered activity across the area. Then it really starts to ramp up right around noontime into about 2 o'clock. Right around Orlando, we're seeing just a line of showers and thunderstorms right around Daytona Beach as well. And anything embedded in these could turn severe with that hail, that wind, as well as that tornado threat for tomorrow. 7 o'clock in the evening, the rain continues round after round. And as Reynolds already mentioned, there's a lot of rain that's already fallen in parts of Florida. They're going to be seeing even more of that for tomorrow. With some training thunderstorms, we could see some flooding a possibility. Then as we move into the wee hours of Saturday, we get a bit of a break, but we could still see a bit of activity Saturday afternoon. There's 6 o'clock, Daytona Beach, seeing a little bit of the action all the way down to Orlando, as well as across the eastern coast there of the state of Florida. A wider look shows you where these storms are as we move through Thursday. Here's 10 o'clock for today. Then as we move into the overnight time frame into Friday morning, you can see all this rain that's up to the north, up around Georgia as well, start to dive south. As it does so, it'll tap into all of that moisture, the instability that I just showed you across that front, and that brings in those rounds of rain as we roll through Tampa, all the way through Orlando, as well as about 4 o'clock, another round of it. So you're not going to be done. Even if you see some rain in the morning, more is going to be on the way. Then as we go into about 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, into the early hour mornings of Saturday, get a little bit of a break, but still some passing showers as we move through Saturday. So not the best weather to set up for the weekend. Saturday, you will have that possibility all the way from Daytona to the tip of Florida. We're talking Miami, Fort Myers. You also could see some thunderstorm activity as we move through your Saturday. So really bracing for some more weather, even some severe storms possible for the start of the weekend in Florida. Paul?
Well, Florida for sure, but also tomorrow we go back and kind of load the atmosphere farther west. Cities across the southern plains bracing for yet another round of severe storms as early as tomorrow. Slight chance for storms even in Dallas again. Meanwhile, storm chances ramping up tomorrow night in Little Rock. So, yeah, here we go. Yes, it's this time of the year and right on cue. Boom, springtime is leading with strong and severe thunderstorms and even tornadoes. Let's talk about the severe threat tomorrow. So another fast-moving system plunging out of the Rockies, setting up another cold front coming on through parts of the Arklatex. There it is, possible thunderstorms. These could be strong and severe. You got to remember, severe storms can and do quickly produce tornadoes, so still a big concern across the area. And the timing of this is, here we go. We're dealing with one cold front yet to clear out of the southeast, and one is loading back up tomorrow across the southern plains. We still have plenty of energy coming on through. Gulf of Mexico supplying copious amounts of moisture here, and we have just enough turning of the winds with height and also speed and directional shear as well, that we could be dealing with more strong and severe thunderstorms ahead and along our cold front, and let alone long before that in that warm sector, which is the area right here, kind of behind the warm front and ahead of the cold front. And that's the area that can give you this very unstable atmosphere and showers and thunderstorms, not to mention some heavy rain as well. So tomorrow, watching these storms rolling on through, and even ahead of our warm front, could see some elevated storms, hail, and you almost look like lightning. It seems like it rolls for hours, but it seems like it rolls and rolls and rolls because it's happening so far off the ground. Here's the timing for Little Rock. Tomorrow morning, things are pretty quiet, but then as we head throughout the day, here we go. By lunchtime, could see a passing shower or two, then spotty hit or miss showers until tomorrow night. The only good news is during the pandemic, not as many people out and about on a Friday night like there would be normally in Little Rock. So that's good timing here. At 10 o'clock, seeing this line of storms potentially approach Little Rock and blast on through till about 1 or 2 in the morning, and then things will start quieting down after that. But this is still going to be a very dangerous evening setting up across Little Rock and other areas that have been hit countless times the last couple of days here, Colleen.
Yes, I know, Paul. It's been a rough couple days, and I want to show you a look at the storm damage as it spawned tornadoes in both Oklahoma and Georgia over the last 48 hours. Take a look at this. What an incredible view from a storm tracker of the tornado that hit Madill, Oklahoma. Now, this was yesterday. Look at the powerful clouds, except there's a rainbow in the middle of this. Powerful winds slamming into the buildings. There was damage in the area. But then right as all this came through, we had that rainbow appear. Mother Nature kind of doing a little bit of both there. A little bit of negative and then a little bit of positive with the rainbow. And then a jaw-dropping scene out of southern Oklahoma as this reported tornado was spotted in the city of Madill. You can see it there right above those buildings, just forming. This was in the shopping center yesterday, and man, That was incredible, incredible video from those storm chasers. Starting to see that condensation cloud coming down, starting to touch the ground. You see the debris coming up. That was there right outside of Oklahoma City. And here's another suspected twister. This was from earlier today in southern Georgia. So watch as a large tornado begins to form in Moultrie. There you go. This is just outside of Valdosta, and the area is still at risk even for more severe weather tonight into tomorrow. So unfortunately not out of the woods just yet, even for southern Georgia, but numerous tornado reports from yesterday as well as even some into today. And Paul, still active weather in the state of Florida right now.
It certainly is. Still tracking now, I think 4 separate tornado warnings across the area. In the yellow, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. In the red, those are tornado warnings. So in fact, there's 5 separate tornado warnings, and some have been extended. Some will expire coming up in about 3 minutes. But right now, Columbia and Suwannee counties under a tornado warning until 9:30 local time, heading on towards Plant City. Now's the time to get to your safe place there in Lake City. We got this storm barreling down upon you for at least the next half hour to 45 minutes. So a little farther south, High Springs. Now is your time to take a shelter now. Where was that, sir? Northwest of Fort White, a confirmed tornado with this. So, yeah, now you seek shelter currently in Brantford, Fort White, and High Springs. High Springs, it's yet to get to you. So the sun has set. So get to your shelter. Don't worry about getting video of this. Get to safety, you and your family as well. A little farther south, yet a new warning just popped up for Gilchrist. This now goes till 9:45 this evening. And the other warnings behind that, still the same cell coming across this area as a big concern. We take a look at what's going, a different version of our radar. It's called the storm relative velocity here, and it's all right along this line of potential tornadic producing thunderstorms here. Kind of put it in motion. Every now and then you'll start seeing kind of couplets of red and green together. That's an indication of how the radar can determine whether there's rotational loft. So still a big concern across this area. I want to kind of show you this entire line here, how it extends also into areas of northern Georgia as well, and even into parts of Jacksonville. We'll start seeing these storms head your way as well. So still a big concern across this region. Got to remember, we're also under a tornado watch in this area. This goes until 10 o'clock tonight. Would not be surprised to see the watch extended a little farther a little later in the evening, because this threat continues to be ongoing in this area of northern Florida.
Fine. No one leaves the table till you're finished.
Fine. We'll sleep here.
It's the easiest because it's the cheesiest. Kraft for the win-win.
You like potato.
And you like potato. I like tomato.
I like tomato.
But we'll never call the whole thing off.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you,
Domino's is hiring. Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
What does it mean to be a good neighbor?
It means being there for each other.
And that's why State Farm is announcing the Good Neighbor Relief Program.
We know that our customers are driving less, which means fewer accidents.
So State Farm is returning $2 billion to auto policyholders for the period ending May 31st.
And we'll continue making real-time decisions to best serve you, our customers.
Because now, more than ever, being a good neighbor means everything. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, Boston. Hey, Atlanta. Hola, Miami.
Local Now is here for you.
Hi, New York. Hey, LA. Chicago.
To get you through life's new normal.
Hey, America.
Trust me, you're going to love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average on
This is the place to be. Something for everyone. Local now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
Bud Light Seltzer. Unquestionably good.
Hi, Hunter Ellis here for Night Hero Binoculars by Atomic Beam. These binoculars let you see anything, even in pitch black darkness. Gotcha.
The secrets are powerful wide-angle atomic beam laser that reveals objects up to 150 yards away, hidden by darkness.
During the day, Night Hero gives you 10 times magnification. And when the sun goes down, press the Night Bright button to see clearly in the dark.
Light up garbage-eating critters or spot thieves before they even get close.
Call or click now and get Night Hero binoculars with laser illumination technology for just $39.99. You'll also get a protective carrying case, yours free. Order right now and you can double it. Plus, get our best-selling Atomic Beam flashlight, just pay separate fee. We'll even ship them to you free. You can get it all, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-790-9910. That's 1-800-790-9910. Or visit BuyNightHero.com. That's BuyNightHero.com. Order now.
Is that coming this way?
Oh my God. Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather at 8 and Deadline to Disaster at 9. Next Sunday night, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 47 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, rain, low 46. Rainfall near a ½ inch. Friday, rain likely, high 49. Rainfall near a ½ inch. Friday night, a shower is possible early. A few clouds, low 41. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Get special coverage here in the Weather Channel. Severe weather breaking out across northern Florida, all ahead of our latest cold front coming through this area. Let's zoom in towards northern Florida, southern Georgia. We have a tornado watch up till midnight local time. Also, one back here expires at 10 p.m., but our line is still blasting on through that area. You have to remember, in and around that area, we are seeing strong and severe thunderstorms. Some are producing tornadoes. We have a cluster of now 4 tornado-warned areas here, portions of this line of thunderstorms, which are blasting on across the areas moving into Plant City as well. So Columbia and Suwannee counties under a tornado warning until 9:30. That's another 10 minutes on this. Again, heavy rain coming in here, and also a new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for that same area. Now, Gilchrist, Columbia, Suwannee counties, a report of a tornado at Fort White a little while ago. So again, this has been spotted. So definitely you want to go to your safety place, your shelter right now in Fort White. So it's a better look at the radar, and you see the green and red, how they're so close together. That's how Doppler radar indicates that we could have some rotation in the area. So still a big concern. Looks like it's just on the northwest side, and probably now the northern side of Fort White. There you go. See those arrows? Now that's kind of the tornado vortex signature that you can see on the radar. And you can see how it kind of moved right in that direction as you put this in motion. Still, High Springs, you're under that warning. I just turn the volume up on the TV, get the kids, get some shoes on. If you have a bike helmet, get that on and go to your safe place and just ride this one out. Better safe than sorry, just like what we're dealing with this pandemic here. You know, prepare for the worst and hope for the best here. Time this out because it continues to push on towards the east now, heading on towards Bland at 9:28, Ellisville at 9:23, Worthington Springs at 9:33, at 9:40, Lake Butler as well. At the very minimum, we're going to have a lot of lightning. In fact, I'm going to put the lightning on there real quick, Dilly. Look at the intensity of this. So again, there is certainly no safe place outside with all all this lightning, and also not the best of times to wash dishes, take a shower, or whatever. But basically, get to your shelter and ride this one out. If you don't have a basement, most people do not in this part of the world, so you want to go to an interior room, a hallway closet, or a bathroom away from the exterior windows and walls. So wind is our enemy here, and you have an interior room. It's safer than going to an exterior room as well. So a bit concerning in Gilchrist. Your warning now till 9:45 local time. The bare minimum, damaging winds, lightning, and heavy rain with this storm. At the worst, we're possibly dealing with still a tornado in the area. Colleen?
Yes, and Paul, we're going to continue to keep everyone updated as we do have that severe weather tracking through Florida right now. Now, I want to turn to this. The deadliest tornado happening in Polk County, Texas yesterday. 3 people died as a result of these powerful storms. It's just been 2 days of some very nasty weather. The city of Onalaska especially hit hard by the tornado. That's about 85 miles north of Houston. The tornado flipped cars, leveled homes in several neighborhoods, injuring dozens of people. Here's how one survivor described the terrifying moments.
We were upstairs on our couch, and I got an alert on the phone, and we came down here. We have 5 dogs, 4 border collies, and a little pug, and we came down here in the bottom, and you know, it was pretty quiet, and I came out and I was just looking, and it was just the weirdest calm. Before it happened, I've never experienced anything like it. It was the quietest it's ever been, and the rain, I could see the rain coming across the lake, and so I decided, all right, it's time to get inside, and I came in here, and as I came in here, the dogs were just running around, and as the dogs were running around, I mean, I came up to this window, and I was just looking through the blinds, and the window started shaking a little bit, and I said, oh man, we got to get in the bathroom, you know, and we ran over here. And I got my wife in there and 3 of our dogs, and we were huddled up in the shower with the door closed. The pressure, when the tornado was coming over us, it felt like our ears were going up, like equivalent like when you're rising in an airplane. Then the next thing you know, you just heard glass and shattering, and you know, we had 3 out of our 5 dogs in here because whenever I was at that door, you know, I got them all in, but those 2, the 2 dogs, they didn't come. And we came out this door back here, and this room actually stood. I mean,
right,
the one room, nothing messed up. And I looked, and she was pinned under this trash right here. Eventually, I just had to drag her out, and then after that, the first thing I looked and saw was that 2x6 sticking out of my shed. It was the scariest thing I've ever been in, you know, and the first thing I did was just start calling everybody and say, hey, we're fine, I love you, you know. And if you haven't ever experienced a tornado, I mean, I know a lot of people are fast. I've always been real fascinated by them, and, you know, looking for them, and I don't want anything to do with them anymore.
All right, that's Texas earlier today. Right now, we're dealing with Florida right now. Possible another tornado just north of Bell, Florida here. This area under a tornado warning. Numerous tornado warnings here for this entire line. Almost several kinks and spins along this line as well. So we got Baker, Columbia, Union counties. Latest tornado warning here till 10:15 local time. It's going to blasting right across Interstate 75 right now. And again, a lot of rotation, a lot of signatures of possible tornadoes here. One was reported by Fort White earlier. Another one was reported just north of Bell. So at least 2 separate reports of tornadoes in this area. So it's a big concern. Alachua, Baker, Bradford, Columbia counties, new tornado warning for you till 10:15. These storms are rolling eastward around 40 miles per hour. More details coming up.
With Dish, you get the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once.
Huh?
Why so many?
See you in the morning. Okay, bye, sounds great. Come in.
Because we know more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Record up to 16 shows at once. Dish, tuned in to you.
Wow,
That's Ensure Max Protein with high protein and 1 gram sugar.
It's a sit-up, banana. Bend at the waist. I'm trying.
Keep it up. You'll get there.
Whoa!
30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just 1 drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right on the cells that make them itch. Fast, just 1 drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription. Everywhere.
So sad, tears are in your eyes. Come on and talk to me now. Don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through.
Animals are abused every day, and they can't ask for help. They endure indescribable acts of violence, but they're without a voice. Without a voice to say they're frightened and in pain. They're alone, they're scared, and they need your help.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you.
Visit us at joinaspca.org or call this number now to join. Sign up for just 63 cents a day, and you'll help rescue animals who are suffering. Please make this the moment that you say, I won't stand by while they suffer. When you sign up with your monthly gift, you give them the shelter and the love they deserve. Do it in the next 10 minutes, and we'll send you the photo of an animal from our shelter and a free ASPCA t-shirt. If you've wondered if your support will make a difference, I can tell you it will. And if you've ever thought about helping, this is the time.
I'll stand by you.
It's only 63 cents a day. Please go online or call before it's too late.
The new house is amazing, so much character.
Original crown molding, walk-in closets.
We do have a rat problem. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
It does help us save.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Welcome back to our special coverage here on the Weather Channel. Live look at Gainesville, Florida. You can see the stadium there, the swamp, and look at the skies just lighting up as we have this line of strong, severe, and possibly even tornadic thunderstorms on the way into Gainesville, probably over the next, say, between 15 and 30 minutes. So if you know anyone in the area, I do believe there's no students there. Most of the student body has went home. But still is a big concern. This is still a city, population of Gainesville there. Definitely will be under this area. You're already under a tornado watch, meaning conditions are ripe to see tornadoes or at least severe thunderstorms tonight, potentially even producing tornadoes. That watch goes until midnight. You can see this line here starting to encroach upon Gainesville here, coming right across portions of Interstate 75 and even the Swanee River. Swanee River is kind of a county line marker between a couple of counties, and we've been dealing with, even around Bell, just north of Bell, a report of a spotted tornado with this system. So still a big concern with this line. Baker, Columbia, Union counties, all under tornado warnings until 10:15 local time. That's good news in Lake City. The warning is just south of you, so you're no longer in this warned area, Lake City. That's good for you, but not so much for your friends farther south. You see that? That's that possible rotation there coming right across Interstate 75 to the west of Lake Butler. So I definitely would seek shelter now, get your safe place in Lawtees, like Butler, even Brooker. You're close enough. High Springs as well. You're close enough to the circulation. Other circulations could spawn up. Not quite sure how large this tornado that was spotted is, but still a big concern. So again, here's some of the towns in the way: Brownsville, Clifton, Lake Butler, Rayford, Lawtee. All over the next, say, 30 to 45 minutes, could be dealing with this strongest line, part of this line coming on through. And the line's rolling east around 40 miles per hour, so the winds probably start there, perhaps exceed well over 70, 80 in some of the stronger downbursts. Not to mention all the lightning. You saw it in Gainesville, and you're not even dealing with that line on top of you right now. It is lighting up the skies here. Gilchrist County under also a tornado warning until 9:45, another 13 minutes on this warning. And look at all that lightning here. The earlier report of tornado was about 3 miles north of Bell there, and we're still seeing plenty of lightning come to this area. And all this will be pushing into Gainesville. So a heads up, Gainesville, you're not under a tornado warning yet or at all. So hopefully it will not happen, but this line is headed your way for sure. In fact, that's still that possible tornadic part, definitely seeing some rotation aloft in the cloud structure. Not quite sure whether it's down to the ground. Can we do the timing here in Gainesville, Sarah, to see what the timing of this? So, you know, trying to get that dog outside for the last little walk of the evening here. Gainesville is probably going to, let's see, in the next, say, 20, 25 minutes or so. That would be my estimate of what's going on here. So definitely damaging wind, copious lightning, heavy rain, and potentially even tornado. Still a concern. You are still under that watch, which goes through midnight local time. Still a big concern for this area of northern Florida. You can see it's not just Florida, into areas of southern Georgia, also under that tornado watch until midnight local time. And by the way, you're close enough to it in Savannah where you're definitely seeing some impacts from the storm system. I don't think the tornado threat is very high there, but still the lightning, heavy rain, and maybe some damaging wind still a concern. Let's go live to Savannah. Our Reynolds Wolf is there live tonight. And Reynolds, I know not a whole lot happening besides just something that's been par for the course this entire year so far, more rain.
Oh, you're right about that, Paul. We had a few booms of thunder, a few peals of thunder earlier right along the riverfront here in beautiful Savannah. But since then, since mid-afternoon, we've had primarily what you're seeing, rain. A variety of it, light to moderate showers at times, some heavier drops, bigger downpours. But I got to tell you, folks, that's really what we should see for much of the evening. Maybe an occasional boom of thunder, but generally some rain for the overnight hours into the morning. And I'm thinking by midday tomorrow, it should be much better improved with it, some sunshine. But right now, you can see it is certainly the rain story. What a night it has been, though, in other places along the Gulf Coast. We see these boats that have been moving up and down, but really it's the traffic high above that's been capturing the attention of so many, millions, in fact, as we've seen these storms that have been racing their way across parts of our region. Let's go ahead and show you future radar and give you an idea of what we can expect here as we roll forward in time in Savannah. More of the scattered showers, more of the same. Light to moderate, again, can really add up in some locations. We've had ponding here, certainly in the parking lot, some grassy areas too, but we could see the water really cover a lot of roadways. Certainly had that issue a bit farther toward north up in Charleston. So folks, be vigilant out there. Be really, really careful. And keep in mind, we're in the early part of severe weather season. We have a ways to go. So if you had good weather today and you live in an area that is prone to this kind of weather, have that plan in place of where to go, what to do. So if severe weather comes calling, you, your friends and family can get to safety. We have more coverage coming up after these messages. Be safe. We'll see you on the other side of this.
Here's a razor that works differently. The Gillette Skin Guard. It has.
Welcome back to our special coverage. Still tracking severe weather across northern Florida, even areas of coastal Georgia here. This area under a tornado watch until midnight, and several tornado warnings ongoing, and at least one confirmed tornado spotted earlier just north of Bell, Florida, which is just off here towards the kind of southwest or lower left part of your screen. But currently, Baker, Columbia, Union counties under tornado warnings until 10:15 local time, as well as a little farther south there. So again, the radar is indicating a couple of areas seeing some rotation. So these are signs first warnings from our radar saying we could have a developing tornado, so a big concern. To put this in motion, you can kind of clearly see that rotation rolling along right there, so a big concern. So this continues to push eastward between 35 and 40 miles per hour, heading on towards Cliftonville pretty soon, Lake Butler after that, then Rayford and Heilbronn and even Lottie as we head on towards a quarter after the next hour. So still a big concern for severe weather, not only here, but a little farther south. It's kind of a line of severe thunderstorms that have some rotation. At least one confirmed tornado that moved through here. Here's Bell. So that's that report just along the Suwannee River here, about 3 miles north of Bell, a confirmed and visualized tornado there near Highway 129. So a big concern is that rotation has pushed well east of Bell. So towns east of there, like Alachua, is still a big concern. Also Gainesville, you're close enough to this. Lightning is lighting up the skies right now, especially looking on towards the west. And we're seeing the heavy rain in High Springs right now. So here's the thing. You could be in heavy rain, so there's no time to go look at the window. The time now is to seek your shelter. Interior room, lowest level of your house or apartment. Mobile homes, there's no safe place for them. Hopefully there's a community shelter you can go to. At the same time, you still got to practice the safe social distancing as you still try to flee from this severe weather. Put the timing on here, moving east at 35 miles per hour, heading on towards Waldo at 10:45, Fairbanks at 10:15, and there's still plenty of lightning out there as well. And Gainesville, you're not quite on this, and you're not actually in that warned area, but still, actually you are. Now, Gainesville, you are in that, just that corner of that tornado warning, so still a big concern for the campus area, although even though classes are not being held any longer on campus, but they're still being held online. But still, a town of Gainesville, city of Gainesville, is a big concern. You're right on the edge of that, especially the northern part of the metro area there in Gainesville, and coming right across Interstate 75, by the way. If you know anyone who's traveling, a trucker about to cross the Georgia line, I want to tell them to hold off for a little while until this line kind of comes down and quiets down before things are safer. Again, damaging winds also a big concern even outside of these tornadoes. And here's our broader view showing the area in red. That's a tornado watch, which means in and also around this area, we're close enough to see strong and severe thunderstorms, and it's severe thunderstorms that can quickly produce tornadoes with little or no advance warning. We've been dealing with this all season long, so still a big concern. The timing of this, Jacksonville. If you're a Jaguars fan, we got the 9th pick in the draft this evening, and we got severe thunderstorms could be blasting on through the metro area as we head on through this evening. So that definitely could be hampering some plans this evening. The bottom line is you want to make sure that you and your family have a safe place. Things also quiet down until the cold front comes through tomorrow. And tomorrow afternoon, we're in this again, parts of Central Florida, even the Jacksonville area, and that I-10 corridor. Colleen?
Thanks, Paul. And unfortunately, tonight has been active, and yesterday was too. Over the last 24 hours, we've seen several damaging and deadly tornadoes, including this one. Watch for a bit as a storm tracker came across a tornado as it began to form in Madill, Oklahoma. Now, Madill, Oklahoma is just north of Lake Texoma as you cross the Red River. It's a little to the northwest of Denison, and right now the National Weather Service has given it a preliminary EF2 rating.
Look at it. I hope it misses those houses, man. God, that is such a big tornado. Missed. Thank God it missed. Oh, what a thing. Cows are exiting.
Wow. Yesterday, a lot of those supercells were just all by them lonesome, and that's where you can see that blue sky. Incredible to see those tornadoes, but unfortunately, they did cause damage, destroying homes and businesses. Listen to one man who survived with his family in the kitchen as parts of his home collapsed around him.
That's where we were at. Right there in that corner, huddled down.
And describe what the sound was like and what you were hearing.
We were hearing a train. That's what I can tell you. Train, wind. We heard the roof come off. And then it's when everybody started freaking out because the house just is going like this and being picked up and slammed. And you could hear the roof being peeled off. And there's a shelf up there with me and my dad that passed away, beer collection from upside down labels and stuff that you don't make no more. And the A&W root beer that was made in the 70s. That was started falling down. Jars came out of here. The cat came from the other bedroom, jumped in that cupboard, took its paw and closed it and hid inside there. And everybody wanted to get up, and I still heard it off in the distance. I'm like, no, let's stay. And then we were gonna go to my back neighbor, George, but there was power lines and trees all over the place, and you couldn't get back there. And we went across the street to his house, and I got the kids over there.
So scary to go through something like that. And right now we have active tornado warnings in Florida. So Paul, I'm going to toss it back to you.
We do. In fact, northern Florida, including Gainesville, we're in a tornado watch until midnight tonight, and you can see a cluster of tornado warnings going on here, as still seeing some rotation within some of these lines here, heading on towards Stark, Lake Butler, Alachua, as well as Gainesville.
Fruit Loops, a delicious part of this complete breakfast.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you.
Domino's is hiring.
Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Everything for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
State Farm is announcing the Good Neighbor Relief Program.
We're returning $2 billion to our auto policyholders through May 31st.
Because now, more than ever, being a good neighbor means everything. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Is that coming this way? Active tornado warnings in effect.
I wasn't sure that I was going to walk away from the situation.
There just went a house. The roof is different. We're under fire.
When that came down, I yelled, I don't want to drown in the store.
Guys, we've got cars floating again.
Oh my God.
Truly, it was the scariest moment of my life.
Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather and Deadline to Disaster next Sunday night on the Weather Channel.
This is Kate.
Hey.
She takes 2 prescriptions. Kate's son Jack takes 1 too. Kate works hard and thought she had good insurance. But she still pays too much. That's no good. So Kate downloaded the GoodRx app. Now she can compare prescription prices to find the best discounts. She even beats her insurance price. Good for you, Kate. Good for you. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
People love the Hurricane, the #1 selling cane from coast to coast.
I love my Hurricane.
I love how secure I feel with my Hurricane.
They love how it helps them walk safely on any surface. And they love how it stands on its own. They love how it folds and unfolds in seconds.
I love my Hurricane.
Order your Hurricane at our legendary low price with a 100% money-back guarantee plus free shipping. Go to hurricane.com. That's hurricane.com. Also available at these fine retailers.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 47 degrees with showers. Tonight, rain, low 46. Rainfall near a half an inch. Friday, rain likely. High 49. Rainfall near a half an inch. Friday night, a shower is possible early. A few clouds. Low 41. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to our special coverage here at the Weather Channel of severe weather rolling through southern Georgia, northern Florida. A live look over the campus of University of Florida here in Gainesville, Florida. Yeah, you're in the part of the Gainesville is in the tornado warned area. That's the storms are rolling on through. Lightning still lighting up the sky as you look on towards the west. And by the way, the campus is basically kind of the southwest side of the city of Gainesville. And it's really the northern half of the city in that just clipped by part of the tornado warning ongoing right now for these strong and severe thunderstorms rolling across this area of northern Florida, also rolling right across Interstate 75 at this time. And copious amounts of lightning you see here on the radar stretching from basically the Sea Islands of Georgia all the way on towards the Gulf Coast of Florida here, and right in the middle also heading into Jacksonville. And we have a line of thunderstorms. They're no longer being warned yet, but again, this entire line which has a couple of tornado warnings ongoing, that's headed towards that Jacksonville, that First Coast area. So Baker, Columbia, Union counties under a tornado warning till 10:15 local time. At one point, we had 4 or 5 different warnings. This is the latest of the warning, and we're still watching the rotation right there coming into the Lake Butler area. So this is why this storm still has a tornado warning on it. You can clearly see them. Do this, loop it again. Right there, you can see that rotation there where the green and the red kind of come together. Almost clearly see something kind of swirling here on the radar. And that's that section right now coming into the Lake Butler area. So I would definitely seek shelter right now and eventually down the line, the Lottie area, and even watch out in Stark as well. So a big concern that we can still be dealing with rotation, possibly even a tornado with this system. And there's the timing of this heading in at 10:12 at Lottie. So a big concern. Lake Butler, this is pretty much upon you right now. So hopefully you're in your safe place. And we have a warning just south of here as well, as we head into the Alachua area, Columbia, Gilchrist counties, all under tornado warnings as well. And this is the one where, say, the northern half of Gainesville, you're in this tornado warning as well. So a big concern as this line has headed your way, although I think the bigger concern is we had a tornado that moved just north of Bell a little while ago. There's that rotation, what's left of it. We're showing on at least our depiction of the radar. I'm sure the National Weather Service is looking at something a little more detailed than our return right here. But you can see it continues to push this way. So if you're in Alachua, Gainesville, Brooker, now's the time to go to your safe place. You are in this tornado warning, and this goes until 10:15 local time. So another 25 minutes on this. We timed this out here. Again, moving east 35 to 40 miles per hour, heading on towards Burnett's Lake at 10 o'clock. So top of the hour, another 8 minutes on that. Alachua at 10:04, Brooker at 10:16, Waldo at 10:27, and Keystone Heights at 10:40. So again, we've had a history of at least that line producing at least one confirmed tornado, so a big concern. But again, look at all the lightning here lighting up, and guess where this is headed? It's heading into Jacksonville, heading on towards Ponte Vedra and parts of the St. Augustine as we head throughout this evening. So don't let your guard down. If perhaps you have the patio furniture up, you want to make sure the umbrella is down, because gusty, damaging winds also coming with this. If we don't see severe warnings, they can still have damage even though you don't have an overall warning with that particular line. And this entire region, northern Florida into parts of coastal and southern Georgia, we're under this tornado watch until midnight local time. So parts of the southwest quarter under a watch that should be expiring now at 10 o'clock. But the rest of northern Florida into parts of southern Georgia, coastal Georgia, on this watch until midnight local time. Again, Savannah, you can see some showers, maybe some thunderstorms, though we do think the bigger threat is severe south of you. And still watching this, the cold front. So this will also spark some thunderstorms as we head on overnight, but also mainly tomorrow. And we're going to have the heating of the day to really fire up and drive more of these storms tomorrow. So even after tonight's storms, we're not out of the woods in portions of Florida or Georgia into your Friday. Colleen?
Yes, and Paul, just as you mentioned, don't let your guard down. For the state of Florida, you're going to have more severe weather on the way as we head into Friday as well as Saturday. First off, let's talk about tomorrow. Some of these same spots, you're not going to be done with the rain. Now, as these severe storms are rolling through right now, you may see additional rounds of showers and thunderstorms as we head through tomorrow morning as well as into the afternoon. So that's up around Jacksonville, all the way down Highway 75. Possible here right around the Lightning Alley. I mean, even if you don't get a severe warning on some of these storms, of course, Florida known for its lightning, all the way from Tampa to Orlando, even Titusville. You could just see a ton of lightning. It's going to be in the 80s tomorrow. Maybe you'll want to try to go out and get a walk in before these storms arrive, but please be careful. Lightning is going to be a big threat as we head through tomorrow as well. And why we're talking about the severe weather is all the ingredients are in play for Florida to once again see an active day. Tomorrow, abundant moisture is going to be ahead and along of that front, and so these storms are going to have a lot of fuel to work with. Warm temperatures in the 80s tomorrow for Florida, and then a decent amount of just instability, some energy to keep them going as they move through. And with some strong winds aloft, that's going to aid in a little bit of lift and shear. And so when you get that, you have that tornado threat. And so that's why we are watching for all modes of severe weather as we head through tomorrow. Here's a look at what it's going to be looking like as we head through Friday. Here's 8 o'clock in the morning. As you can see, some of these same areas that are tapping into the severe thunderstorm activity right now may see additional rounds in the morning. And then this all starts to move down through Tampa and also Orlando, with even more storms on the way as we head into Saturday. We're going to be keeping you posted for your weekend weather as well as a look at those active warnings coming up in just a bit. So stick it right here in the Weather Channel.
Hey, can I...
Safe driver, save 40%. Guys.
Safe drivers save 40%.
Safe driver, save 40%.
Safe drivers save 40%.
That's safe drivers save 40%.
It is. That's safe drivers save 40%.
It's right there.
It's him.
Safe drivers do save 40%. Click or call for a quote today.
At Domino's, we pride ourselves on handcrafted pizza. But after leaving our 450-degree ovens, the only hands that touch them are yours. Mix and match any two or more for just $5.99 each and get them with contactless delivery from Domino's.
Max. No. Max.
Dogs don't know what's good for them. Luckily, you do. Greenie's Dental Treats.
With Dish, you get the Hopper. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once.
See you in the morning. Okay, bye, sounds great.
Because more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Dish, tuned in to you.
When we first opened our doors, it didn't take us long to realize.
We weren't in the car business.
At Lexus, we were in the people business.
We needed to be helpful.
Respectful.
And compassionate.
To treat people like guests.
It's what we all signed up for.
And now when people need this most, we will do what we've always done.
Take care of people first.
The rest will follow.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just one drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right on the cells that make them itch. Fast, just one drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription, everywhere.
It's totally normal to have constipation with belly pain, straining, and bloating again and again.
No way.
More exercise, more water, and more fiber is the only way to manage it.
Is it?
Maybe you think it's occasional constipation.
Maybe it's not.
It could be a chronic medical condition called IBS-C, and time to say yes to Linzess. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It helps relieve belly pain and lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Change your thinking to IBS-C. If your constipation and belly pain keeps coming back, tell your doctor and say yes to Linzess.
Our continuing coverage here, the Weather Channel. Severe weather rolling through northern Florida. A live look at the Gainesville area and the skyline lit up by lightning as we're seeing severe thunderstorms and possibly even tornadoes roll through northern Florida. At least one confirmed tornado earlier. And that same line of storms now moving into the Gainesville, Florida area here. This is a shot from the campus of University of Florida, which is located there in Gainesville on the southwest corner of the city, while the northern half of the city is in this tornado warning. And zoom on in there and kind of show you what's going on. See all that lightning on this line. Gainesville already seeing that rain, and the campus is basically right there on the southwest side, but the northern half of the city in that tornado warning for Alachua, Bradford, and Columbia counties until 10:15 local time. Another 17, 16 minutes on this. But earlier, we saw a possible tornado closer towards Bell. It's off screen here, and that circulation continues to head on through High Springs and some very heavy rain and plenty of lightning. There's that circulation continues to roll that area. Hence, we still have possible rotational lofts and even another area we're watching there as well. So that's why we still have this ongoing tornado warning. In fact, that's a big concern, that little notch there that's coming on through there. So we time this out here heading on towards Burnett's Lake. And Alachua at 10:07, Brooker at 10:19, Waldo at 10:30, and Keystone Heights at 10:43. And by the way, there's a pretty big interstate here. Of course, during the pandemic, not dealing with nearly as much traffic, but Interstate 75 is rolling on through this corridor here, and that's getting slammed right now. So if you know anyone, even some of the men and women driving the trucks out here, leaving the Georgia area, going to northern Florida, I'm going to hold off around I-10 or so, wait till this thing rolls on through, and then proceed south if you come to this area. But still plenty of lightning and heavy rain coming on through. So whatever is out there, perhaps a potential another tornado, it could be wrapped in rain and difficult to see. So now's the time, not to mention, you see our tower cams there. The sun has set a couple of hours ago, so it's dark. You cannot see unless perhaps lightning is lighting things up like they are across the skies there in Gainesville, seeing all that lightning on the camera. But even the northern storm, still watching some concerns here for Baker, Bradford, and Union counties. You too under a tornado warning until 10:15 as well. Lake Butler, Worthington Springs, Glen, St. Mary, all in that kind of zone here. We can clearly see here, look at that. Look at that pairing of the couplet here of green and red. That's how the radar indicates possible tornado. Basically, it's detecting spinning aloft. And that's the first sign that you could have spinning on the ground in terms of a tornado. So that's what we look for. That's what the radar operators from the National Weather Service look for as well before they warn on these storms. You can see that rotation coming right there. We put this in motion here. We go back a little while. Start it again, Sarah Dillingham. You can see it right there about 9:30 rolling across the area. And then top of the hour here, it's pretty much right moving past now just east of Lake Butler. So a big concern that could still be producing a tornado or about to produce a tornado. Not to mention it's wrapped in and covered and shrouded in rain as well. So a big concern of, yeah, you need to turn the volume up on the TV and just head to your safe place, interior room, away from the exterior walls and windows. Try to cushion yourself from any type of wind damage to wherever you are. Again, mobile homes are not safe places to ride out tornado warnings. Hopefully there's a community storm shelter that you are in right now, as well as practicing the safe distancing with our pandemic going on. But so put that in motion again. You almost see a little rotation going on here on the rain reflectivity right there. Almost seeing a little spin going on. So again, a good sign, at very least some rotation aloft coming on through the Lake Butler area right now. Should be pushing just on the east side of town. And heads up, if you're in Baldwin and Lawton as well, these are areas downstream or where this line of severe, possibly tornadic thunderstorms headed your way. So a heads up that you need to be prepared. Know that it's getting late in the day, late in the evening. People are perhaps trying to prepare for bed, and we have this line blasting on through. And then We talk about the Jacksonville metropolitan area. We too are not out of the woods in terms of seeing more severe weather and potentially even a tornado coming through and severe storms. You can see that lightning heading on through the Sea Islands of Georgia, on through Fernandina Beach and just north of Jacksonville right now. But all this is headed your way. Heavy rain, lightning, and damaging winds. And then we go through this again tomorrow with a cold front coming through. All this is ahead of our cold front. And that's why we do have in the red, that's a tornado watch. That goes until midnight local time. But I would not let your guard down along the Sea Islands, up towards Savannah, even down towards the Space Coast and even Daytona Beach. You can be close enough to this area that you too can see severe weather, including severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. You don't have to be just in that watch area. As the timeline here, again, Tallahassee, things will be quieting down for you overnight, but Jacksonville, we're just getting going. As we head past midnight, could still see some scattered showers move on through the Panhandle, but it's really more storms coming on through. And then by sunrise, here we go again. Cedar Key and Gainesville again could get hit pretty hard as our cold front starts to come on through, and we'll see storms along that cold front. So we're not quite out of the woods with more severe weather popping up throughout the morning, throughout the afternoon across areas of northern and even central Florida as we head on towards your Friday before we start quieting down into your Saturday. So we're seeing yet another long extended period of dealing with severe weather across this part of the southeast. And again, our cold front is still lingering across parts of Middle Tennessee, pushing on through northwestern Alabama, and we can still see some storms fire up along that and just ahead of that cold front while these storms are racing out ahead of it. So yeah, until that cold front comes through, then we'll finally start to stabilize the atmosphere briefly, because it is springtime, and we'll go through this again as we head down the line. But right now, our immediate concern is this area of northern Florida and parts of Georgia, and also just noticing the second line kind of building here coming on into the Florida Panhandle and southern Georgia. Keep an eye on that, as that too looks like it has plenty of lightning kind of firing up here. So tonight, we're still watching storms possible as far north as perhaps areas of Kentucky down through Chattanooga, even Atlanta. We do think are a better chance of severe weather in terms of tornadoes in this area of northern Florida, southern Georgia. So still a big concern as we head on through this evening. And we even have torcons up of a scale of 1 to 10 of 3 in this area of northern Florida. So 3 is significant. It's not 0. It's certainly not 7, 8, or 9, but there's still a chance there. Hence, at least one report of a spotted tornado around Bell, Florida, just about an hour ago. So definitely keep a close eye on this, because Colleen, we know we've been dealing with a lot of severe weather, not only just last night, but even this past weekend. And yeah, springtime, it's that time of the year again.
Yes, it definitely is. And Florida is going to be on tap for additional rounds of severe storms as we head into tomorrow. You're taking a live look right now from Orlando, Florida, still 84 degrees. It's unfortunately, you're going to be seeing a big risk for severe thunderstorms Friday, and all the threats are included. We could see frequent lightning, wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, as well as some quarter-size hail and even a possibility of a tornado. And even right now, these areas are seeing some rain, showers, and thunderstorms rolling through. Of course, the bullseye right now right around Gainesville, where we had those active tornado warnings. But as Paul just mentioned, I was looking at this too. We have a second line of showers and thunderstorms coming through, and a lot of lightning. When you see so much lightning, it just shows you the health of those thunderstorms. They're strong. They're tapping into all of this moisture for tomorrow. Even these areas that are seeing all the active weather right now, just around Gainesville, you could see another round even tonight as well as into tomorrow morning. And then as that cold front starts to slide through, this possibility of severe storms starts to move into central Florida, just down 75. So Ocala, also down through Tampa, Orlando, you're going to see a chance for some strong storms as we head through around lunchtime into the early afternoon hours. Abundant moisture is going to be in play. Of course, Florida, always known for that, all the water around it. You don't have a lack of moisture, and we're going to have some instability in there with this cold front. It's going to add that lift. And so as that front rolls through, that's what's going to spawn this next round of showers and thunderstorms coming in. And we can can even see a little bit of spin in the atmosphere. We have enough lift and a little bit of shear, we call it, as those winds turn direction as you go up into our atmosphere that could bring in that tornado threat as well. Let's start at midnight tonight. We're going to focus on Orlando as we roll through the overnight hours. By about 6 o'clock in the morning, you can see a little bit of rain all the way from Orlando stretching to Titusville, some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Then as we move through the day, look what happens as we roll the clocks on to about 2. So by noon to about 2 o'clock, right around lunchtime, we have numerous showers and thunderstorms rolling through Orlando. Some of these could turn severe. We're watching for wind, hail, as well as that potential of tornadoes. And you know, lightning, not one of those criteria for a severe thunderstorm warning, but all these storms are going to have a lot of lightning. We're in lightning alley, and so that's something to keep in mind if you're going to try to get out and about in between some of these showers and thunderstorms. Be a good day to just stay inside and just enjoy the great indoors, because by 7 o'clock, we still have showers and thunderstorms around. Get a little bit of a break as we head into Saturday morning, but watch what happens even by the midday hours. We see additional storms developing for your Saturday, so it's going to be a bit of a wet, maybe a rough start for some for the weekend as we move into central Florida. A wider look shows you as we head through the overnight hours tonight. There's that next line of showers and thunderstorms starting to roll through. Cold front's going to come in, and just ahead of that front, we have more showers and thunderstorms, same areas that we're talking about right now, and then that stretches all the way down through Tampa and Orlando by 11 o'clock in the morning. Lunchtime going to be a wet one for a lot of folks in those spots, and embedded in this could be those severe showers and severe storms, as well as showers that continue to move through before we see that break around Saturday morning, and then we'll see even more of it. So unfortunately, even tonight, as it's rough and a very dangerous situation, we hate to see these severe thunderstorms anytime during the day, but especially at night, because a lot of folks are headed to bed. You're going to have to stay on high alert as we head through Saturday, Friday and Saturday, as the possibility of storms is going to stretch all the way from pretty much where we're talking about right now all the way to Miami. So, Paul, going to be an active start for the weekend for the state of Florida.
Yeah. That's right. In fact, cities across the southern plains are also bracing for more storms this weekend. There's slight chance for thunderstorms in Dallas. Meanwhile, storm chances ramp up tomorrow night in Little Rock as well. So here we go again. It seems like we've been dealing with this, yesterday and last night, now again tomorrow night. So here's our kind of bullseye for severe weather right there in the Arklatex, parts of Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, and even Oklahoma, including you in the Dallas area, parts of East Texas, Shreveport, Louisiana. Here we go again, Little Rock for you. Now, the timing of this, did we have a cold front coming through like today? Yeah, you did. Guess we have one tomorrow as well. It's the time of the year. We're seeing a pretty strong northwesterly flow pulling and pushing these cold fronts this way. So tomorrow, ahead of it, we're pumping up the moisture back from the Gulf of Mexico. Again, this warm sector, basically south, behind the warm front and ahead of the cold front, that's that warm, unstable sector. That's the sector where you start seeing turning the winds with height, and also the speed changes as you go up in the atmosphere. All the ingredients to start giving you lines of thunderstorms, long-lived lines of thunderstorms, sometimes even rotating thunderstorms, and some of those can produce hail, maybe even damaging winds, and even tornadoes. So tomorrow, there's this threat here. Good news is behind it, we start calming down the atmosphere briefly and give us some more stable weather. The timing here in Little Rock, it's going to be tomorrow evening. The good news is a typical Friday evening in April, a lot of people out and about, but not so much during the pandemic. But as we head on towards dinner time and beyond, the atmosphere starts to percolate, and there we go. A line of perhaps strong and damaging thunderstorms can blast on through and then finally quiet down well after midnight tomorrow night. Colleen?
Alrighty, thanks so much, Paul. Now we want to take a look at the storm damage, because I know it's active today. It was also active yesterday. Dozens of tornadoes spawning across the states of Oklahoma, as well as even one that we may have in Georgia over the last 48 hours. Take a look at this. Wow, just an incredible view from a storm tracker from a tornado that spawned in Medill, Oklahoma. That's just north of Lake Texoma. Wow, just powerful winds slamming into the buildings. But then look, you have a rainbow as you see that condensation funnel just starting to come down from the clouds and then slowly starting to touch the ground. That's where we started to see debris, unfortunately, coming up. But man, such an incredible but odd sight to see that rainbow, as well as that funnel cloud just starting to touch down right there, moving into Madill, Oklahoma. And then take a look at this. This is another jaw-dropping scene out of southern Oklahoma. And this is the same tornado. That was the one that was spotted in Madill. You can see it forming above these shops and stores. That's a shopping center right there. This took place yesterday afternoon. And this is just about 2 hours south of Oklahoma City. That's where Madill, Oklahoma is. Unfortunately, just a devastating sight there with those tornadoes, especially this one, too, that touched down yesterday. And then I mentioned Georgia. Here's another suspected twister from earlier today in southern Georgia. Watch as a large tornado begins to form in Moultrie. This is just outside of Valdosta, and the area is still at risk for even more severe weather tonight into tomorrow. But an incredible scene captured today, and unfortunately more active weather as we head through tonight as well as into tomorrow. Going to be sending it back to Paul with the latest on those active tornado warnings.
That's right, Colleen. Still watching more severe thunderstorm warnings, even for Jacksonville, but also tornado warnings for areas kind of west and southwest of Jacksonville. Been watching this all day long here. Gainesville, the good news is looks like we're not seeing a huge tornado threat for you right now. You're still in that warning until another, I think, 2 minutes. Should be dropping out. But now, National Weather Service Office issued this new warning for the most dangerous part of this line here, possibly still producing a tornado for portions of Alachua, as well as Bradford, Clay, and Union counties. This warning goes till 10:45 local time. Again, pretty strong rotation still going on through there, and that's a big concern for that. But also just the north and east of there. Let's talk about the Jacksonville warning now. These are some of the same lines of storms that had possible tornadoes. Now it's moving into the Jacksonville area. So the west and southwest side of town, Duval County, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, as well as Baker, Bradford, and Clay counties under severe thunderstorm warnings.
Hold my pouch.
Trust us. Us kids are ready to take things into our own hands. Don't think so? Hold my pouch.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Paste, the incredible rubberized paste. Right out of the tub, Flex Paste is super thick. It clings to the surface and it instantly fills gaps and holes. And once Flex Paste dries, it turns into a strong, flexible rubber. This thick rubber coating is perfect for sealing leaks in RVs and campers, or stopping insects and rodents from entering your home. Flex Paste Advanced Formula won't dissolve or wash away. And it even works underwater. So you can apply Flex Paste underwater, and it even dries underwater. Floods can destroy your home. Push Flex Paste deep into wet surfaces to help prevent flood damage. Get Flex Paste and the Flex Seal family of products at flexsealproducts.com.
For over 75 years, people have saved money with Geico. Sorry.
Here we go, from the top, and action.
For over 75 years, people have saved money with Gecko.
Cut it.
What did I say? Gecko. I said Gecko. Oh. For over 75 years...
Keep it together.
I'm good. For over 70... What are you doing there? Stop making me laugh.
Geico, saving people money for over 75 years.
Don't look at me.
Together, we can do this. Our spirit is what unites us. It is what bonds us and reminds us we are all one. Which is why if you need a vehicle during this time, we are offering 0% financing for 84 months with no payments for 90 days. And the ability to shop and buy from the safety of your home. Better days are ahead, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram will help you drive forward.
The fighting spirit is one we all share. That's why Modelo is donating $500,000 to the First Responders First Initiative to support the workers on the front line against COVID-19. For fighting for us, we raise a beer to you. Modelo, food for those with a fighting spirit.
Hey, Guy. Hi there. Welcome to HIMSS.
Should have done it years ago, and I feel like the young stud that I always imagined I was.
Outstanding product. Works above and beyond our expectations.
This has been a life changer, even in just a few weeks.
Featured in GQ, Playboy, and Men's Health.
Find out what all the buzz is about.
Go to 4hims.com/ED and get started with a free online visit while supplies last.
The minute you're diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, you should have a Dexcom.
Knowing where your numbers are going before they get there, it's a superpower.
I've had other systems, and I'm on this one because it's the best and because it works. It's easy to wear, it's easy to put on, you can see it right on your phone. I can't imagine anything simpler.
No finger sticks. I can't say that enough. I think that's an incredible advancement.
This is the CGM technology you've been waiting for.
Is that coming this way?
Oh my God. Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather at 8 and Deadline to Disaster at 9. Next Sunday night, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 46 degrees with rainy conditions. Tonight, periods of rain, low 45, rainfall near ½ inch. Friday, rain, high 49, chance of rain 90%, rainfall around ½ inch. Friday night, clear to partly cloudy, low 41, winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to our special coverage of severe weather now rolling across northern Florida. Live look from the campus of University of Florida. Gainesville, Florida here, dealing with plenty of lightning lighting up the skies throughout this evening. Not seeing as much right now, but all we got to do is wait about 4 or 5 seconds. We'd see, there we go, right on cue. They're lighting up. The good news is we're starting to see the back edge approach the Gainesville area, and we should start calming down from this initial line, which still is blasting across northern Florida, heading on into Jacksonville right now. And speak of Jacksonville, and up the camera pops here. And we got storms moving in on the west and southwest side of town. By the way, that part of Duval County under a severe thunderstorm warning, as well as neighboring Baker, Bradford, and Clay counties as well. This entire region under a tornado watch. It's been kind of pared back a little bit across parts of northern Georgia, other parts of northern Florida. But the areas you see here shaded in red, we can see strong and severe thunderstorms that can quickly produce tornadoes. Even though you're under a severe thunderstorm warning in Duval County, don't let your guard down. So these are our 2 warnings that are active right now. There's a pretty long line of thunderstorms, strong and severe, coming on in through northern Florida. Things are finally quieting down Interstate 75, so if you know people who are kind of waiting this out, things should be better for them to get back on the road. But we're still watching pretty intense line still rolling on through Brooker, Florida right now. That's for the Alachua, Bradford, and Union County tornado warning till 10:45. So 25 minutes on this warning here. And this line of storms has produced at least 1 spotted tornado. Could be more, but right now, wow. You see that, Sarah? Right there. You see a little couplet coming on through. And this is what I'm talking about. So these severe thunderstorm warnings can quickly produce tornadoes. Let's keep rolling through. And we can clearly see, that's it. Well, it doesn't look as good as it did right there. That little rotation. It looks like it's weakened somewhat, but we can still see. This is why this cell used to be warned for a tornado. Now that circulation has kind of dissipated, but it's still going pretty strong as it passed Lake Butler here. And now this is still capable, maybe even still producing a tornado. But the bottom line is now a severe thunderstorm warning for the counties of Baker, Bradford, Clay, and Duval counties there. But we're still watching that other more stronger part, seeing a rotation coming into Stark at 10:28, Kingsley at 10:40, Belmore at 10:47. Penny Farms after that, and after 11 o'clock heading on towards Green Cove Springs. So again, these storms are moving between 35 and 40 miles per hour. So these storms will be into the first coast as we head on towards probably right around midnight to close to 12:30. So Jacksonville heading a lot closer to you, and we're seeing, yes, look at all the lightning coming on through this region as well, heading into Baldwin. So Bel Air, Meadowbrook, Terrence, Sanderson, all in that severe thunderstorm warning. And you can see it's also approaching the Jacksonville area. Then after that, heading on towards Jacksonville Beach. So we have a very stormy Thursday evening for you. But as this storm comes on through, we have another line of perhaps seeing some storms tomorrow. Have more on that coming up. But right now, we've seen quite an active last 24-hour period from Texas on to Florida and Georgia. Colleen?
Yes, I know, Paul, an active day today. And then yesterday we saw numerous tornadoes. Unfortunately, the deadliest tornado happening in Polk County, Texas yesterday. 3 people lost their lives as a result of these powerful storms. And the city of Onalaska especially hit hard by the tornado. That's about 85 miles north of Houston. Look at the damage. The tornado flipped cars and leveled homes in several neighborhoods, unfortunately injuring dozens of people. Here's how one survivor described this terrifying moment.
We were upstairs on our couch, and I got an alert on the phone, and we came down here. We have 5 dogs, 4 border collies and a little pug, and we came down here in the bottom, and you know, it was pretty quiet, and I came out and I was just looking, and it was just the weirdest calm. Before it happened, I've never experienced anything like it. It was the quietest it's ever been. And the rain, I could see the rain coming across the lake. And so I decided, all right, it's time to get inside. And I came in here. And as I came in here, the dogs were just running around. And as the dogs were running around, I mean, I came up to this window and I was just looking through the blinds. And the window started shaking a little bit. And I said, oh man, we got to get in the bathroom, you know. And we ran over here, and I got my wife in there and 3 of our dogs, and we were huddled up in the shower with the door closed. The pressure, when the tornado was coming over us, it felt like our ears were going up, like equivalent like when you're rising in an airplane. Then the next thing you know, you just heard glass and shattering, and you know, we had 3 out of our 5 dogs in here because whenever I was at that door, you know, I got them all in, but those 2, the 2 dogs, they didn't come. And we came out this door back here, and this room actually stood. I mean, it right, the one room, nothing messed up. And I looked, and she was pinned under this trash right here. Eventually, I just had to drag her out, and then after that, the first thing I looked and saw was that 2x6 sticking out of my shed. It was the scariest thing I've ever been in, you know, and the first thing I did was just start calling everybody and say, hey, we're fine, I love you, you know. And if you haven't ever experienced a tornado, I mean, I know a lot of people are I've always been real fascinated by them, and, you know, looking for them, and I don't want anything to do with them anymore.
Oh, just seeing that 2x4 stuck in that shed, it shows you the power of those tornadoes. And we do have active tornado warning right now just north of the city of Gainesville. Taking a live look, lots of lightning coming through. Keep it right here on the Weather Channel as we keep you updated on this active weather.
With Dish, you get the Hopper. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once.
See you in the morning. Okay, sounds great.
Because more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Dish, tuned in to you.
Did you know sleep helps support immune function? Only REM Fresh uses ion-powered melatonin to deliver up to 7 hours of sleep support. #1 sleep doctor recommended REM Fresh, your nightly sleep companion. Available at these fine retailers.
And Doug.
Give me your hand! I can save you! Lots of money with Liberty Mutual! We customize your car insurance so you only pay for what you need!
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Every ink for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
In the next minute,
An animal who's been cruelly abused by a thoughtless owner might not survive. Every minute of every day in America, animals are feeling the pain of being abused or neglected. These animals have done nothing to deserve this treatment. And if you agree, then it's time to do something about it. It only takes a minute to help, but it's a minute that will matter more than you can imagine to an animal who's being hurt. So I hope you'll take this minute right now and visit this website or call the number on your screen. Join with your gift of just $19 a month, and you can rescue innocent animals from endless suffering. The next minute could mean the difference between life and death for an animal who's being hurt. It's just 63 cents a day, and I can tell you, you will make a difference. So I'm asking you, please, visit our easy-to-use website on any device or call this toll-free number now. And if you join in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this membership kit. It comes with a magazine subscription, an animal photo, and this limited edition Animal Champion t-shirt designed exclusively for our new monthly supporters. Please go online or call now and don't delay, because there's an animal being abused right now, and the next minute of their life could really depend on you.
Hello?
Hello there. Almond Joy is tropicaling.
When you need a taste of vacation, pick up.
Welcome back to our special coverage, tracking severe weather right now across parts of northern Florida and southern Georgia. You can see a live view from the campus of the University of Florida. Yeah, they're not holding classes on campus, but yeah, Mother Nature is still rolling onto the air. The good news is we're no longer seeing that severe tornado warning for that area. We're still dealing with heavy rain and plenty of lightning. It's been lighting up the skies here the last hour or so in this part of northern Florida. Now this line is encroaching on the Jacksonville area, where parts of Duval County under a severe thunderstorm warning. This entire region is under a tornado watch, meaning in and around this area, we can see strong and severe thunderstorms that can quickly produce tornadoes. At least one confirmed spotted tornado with one of these cells earlier this evening. And there we go. We have two warnings we're watching right now. One in the red, that's a tornado warning. The other one in the yellow, a severe thunderstorm warning. The tornado warning is still up for Alachua County as well as Bradford County and Clay County till 10:45 local time, another 15 minutes. But yeah, we've had warnings on this cell for at least the last hour and change. So to see perhaps the warning continue, possibly, it all depends, and we still see rotation there, and we still need some warnings for it as well. But the rotation not nearly as strong as it was earlier, and shortly when it produced a tornado just north of Bell. So it's kind of a muddled look here on the radar, not seeing any strong signatures of strong rotation for sure. It could still be some rotation. Bottom line is there is another part of this line just north of here that had strong rotation earlier. That is weakened, but now it's turned into a severe thunderstorm warning, and this now is encroaching across the western and southwestern corners of Jacksonville. Here in Duval County, you are in this yellow. That's a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Clay, Duval, and Nassau counties till 11 o'clock. Well, now let's check in with meteorologist Reynolds Wolf. He's in the coastal Georgia area, where this week is coming to a wet and stormy end in Savannah.
That's right. Come to you from Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, Savannah, Georgia, a town of some amazing people. The metro area, roughly 340,000 people, home to a lot of good folks and a lot of trees. See the one behind me. Again, some of the towering oaks were kind of commonplace here in the downtown area. And one of the things that could be subjected to trouble if we have some winds that begin to crank up. The ground is saturated. We've had some scattered showers, had some thunderstorms earlier in the afternoon and the early evening hours, but they've begun to fade a little bit, but more rain is expected. All the way down. Look at this. This walk right along the Savannah River, very quiet. This time of the year, during spring, Savannah tends to be a very popular place, but obviously with the issues with COVID-19, not just an issue for Savannah, but around much of the country, all is quiet for the time being. Not quiet, again, high above and farther to our south, where we're going to have a really big issue, obviously, with some of the rough times we've had from parts of the Gulf Coast into Florida. Florida tomorrow could have a rough day. Certainly, we've had some issues up in the Carolinas also in terms of heavy rainfall. Charleston has been an issue. But what we can expect here in Savannah rolling forward is really more of the same. Light to moderate showers. At times, a heavier downpour can be expected, and that's pretty much going to be the story of what we can anticipate as we roll forward during the overnight hours into the early morning, and then around 9 or 10 o'clock or so, we can expect some drier air to move in, and with it, a break in the action. However, when we get into Saturday, another shot of storms, about 20% chance, but still an opportunity for a rough time. So, good night. To just take it easy and listen to the rain on the roof and hope for better times weather-wise. All right, let's send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Reynolds. And yes, we still have some active weather tomorrow. Some areas just seeing showers. Others are under another severe threat. And this is mainly for Florida. So I want to talk about the areas for tomorrow that could see those severe thunderstorms. Some of them may roll through the same spots that saw severe weather right now in the Gainesville area. Also up around Jacksonville, you still have a chance for some severe thunderstorms tomorrow. And then as a cold front rolls through, it starts to push this severe threat a little farther south into the state of Florida as we get into Ocala as well as Orlando, Tampa. We're going to have those severe thunderstorms firing up, and then even south of that. All the ingredients are in play. We have a lot of moisture, of course, surrounding Florida. We have that cold front that's going to bring in a little bit of lift, and we have a lot of available energy. And so with that, there's a lot of storm fuel out there to get these storms going. Tomorrow, we also have a little bit of turn in the atmosphere, some stronger winds, which could lead to a tornado threat along with these severe thunderstorms. So here's a look at Tampa, a closer look for tomorrow morning. The rain starts to roll in as we head into about lunchtime, as we go into St. Petersburg, up through Spring Hill, and then just as we pass through Tampa up through Lakeland, we get some heavier rain, pockets of some strong storms as we head into the afternoon. You get that daytime heating. Temperatures are going to be in the 80s tomorrow, and then as we move through the overnight time frame, get a bit of a break, but then things may spawn back up as we go through Saturday. We could see a few isolated showers and storms, so still a little active for parts of Florida even into the beginning of the weekend. Here's Saturday as we head into the evening hours, passing shower or two as we head into the Tampa area, and then you should see a little bit of clear weather as we move through the end of the weekend. However, still active weather for areas around Gainesville tonight in Florida, so we'll be talking about that coming up next. Stay right here on the Weather Channel.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just one drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right in the cells that make them itch. Fast, just one drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription. Everywhere.
There will be parties again soon, and family gatherings. There will be parades, and sporting events, and concerts. To help our communities when they come back together, respond to the 2020 census now. Spend a few minutes online today to impact the next 10 years of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. Go to 2020census.gov and respond today to make America's tomorrow brighter. It's time to shape our future.
With Dish, you get the Hopper. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once.
See you in the morning. Okay, sounds great.
Because more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Dish, tuned in to you.
You like potato.
And you like potato. I like tomato.
I like tomato.
But we'll never call the whole thing off.
Hey, can I go?
Hold on one second.
Sure.
Okay. Safe driver, save 40%. Guys.
Check it out. Safe driver, save 40%.
Safe driver, save 40%.
Safe driver, save 40%.
That's Safe Driver Save 40%.
It is. That's Safe Driver Save 40%.
It's right there.
It's him. He's here.
He's right here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey. That's totally him.
That's him.
That's totally the guy.
Safe drivers do save 40%. Click or call for a quote today.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you.
Domino's is hiring.
Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today.
Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
We're committed to helping you put food on your table.
Is that coming this way? Active tornado warnings in effect.
I wasn't sure that I was going to walk away from the situation.
There just went a house. The roof is getting ripped off. We're under fire.
When that came down, I yelled, I don't want to drown in the store. Guys, we've got cars floating again.
Oh my God.
truly it was the scariest moment of my life.
Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather and Deadline to Disaster next Sunday night on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back to our special coverage here in the Weather Channel, covering severe weather across northern Florida, parts of southern Georgia. We have a tornado watch until midnight local time, another hour and 23 minutes or so. But in and around this area, we've been dealing with strong and severe thunderstorms. Some have produced at least one report of a tornado earlier around Bell, Florida, just north of Bell, Florida, just west of Interstate 75. Now these storms are rolling eastward. They've already moving on through Gainesville and heading into Jacksonville. The good news is parts of Duval County, you had a severe thunderstorm warning. That has been canceled. Does not mean you still can't see some damage and some damaging winds and plenty of lightning. Got all that out there, some heavy rain. But right now, we're concerned about our tornado warning currently going on for Alachua, Bradford, and Clay counties till 10:45. So another 7 minutes and change on this warning here. Also approaching the Highway 301 corridor here. Again, this is getting pretty close to the Jacksonville metro area, but still, we had rotation in this part of this line for well over an hour, hour and a half or so, and we're still seeing a slight rotation, not nearly as strong as it was earlier. Bottom line, there's still a tornado warning. You need to seek shelter. We're still seeing portions of that rotation just north of Keystone Heights and south of the Stark area. Again, this entire line moving east, 35 to 40 miles per hour, and not to mention this heavy rain in here and plenty of lightning, so it could be difficult to see as we're still seeing some rotation within this line, hence the warning remains across the area. So, hey, Jacksonville, watching from us, you're thinking, oh, hey, our warning is canceled. We're in the free and clear. No, you're not. By far, you're not. We're definitely going to see this heading on towards the first coast here as we head towards 11:30 midnight or so. They can still have damaging winds and heavy rain and all that lightning also pushing into Jacksonville. But for our tornadic part of the storm, we can kind of time this out outside the warning area, heading on towards Belmore at 10:46, Penny Farms at 10:54, Green Cove Springs at 11:06, Elwood at 11:18, and Bakersville at 11:23. But here we are in Jacksonville. We've been dealing with a lot of heavy rain and plenty of lightning. Been watching the sky light up west of you for probably about 2 hours or so. Now the storms are coming your way and a few more lightning strikes out here as well. And also these storms heading on towards some of the coastal islands of Georgia, and not to mention Fernandina Beach as well, seeing that heavy rain, but still enough lightning out there still poses a danger. So no safe place outside. The good news is the overall lightning strikes have been diminishing slightly. Good sign that some of these storms are on the weaker side right now. Colleen?
That's some good news, Paul. We'll continue to keep you updated on the situation in Florida. And unfortunately, over the last 24 hours, we've seen several damaging and deadly tornadoes. Watch for a bit as the storm tracker came across a tornado as it began to form in Medill, Oklahoma.
Look at it. I hope it misses those houses, man. God, that is such a big tornado. Missed. Oh, thank God it missed. Oh, what a thing. Cows are exiting.
A dozen tornado reports yesterday, and unfortunately, we had homes and businesses destroyed. Listen to one man who survived with his family huddled in the kitchen as parts of his home collapsed around him.
That's where we were at. Right there in that corner, huddled down.
And describe what the sound was like and what you were hearing.
We were hearing a train. That's what I can tell you. Train, wind. We heard the roof come off. And that's when everybody started freaking out because the house just is going like this and being picked up and slammed. And you could hear the roof being peeled off. And there's a shelf up there with me and my dad that passed away, beer collection from upside down labels and stuff that you don't make no more. And the A&W root beer that was made in the 70s. That was started falling down. Jars came out of here. The cat came from the other bedroom, jumped in that cupboard, took its paw and closed it and hid inside there. And everybody wanted to get up, and I still heard it off in the distance. I'm like, no, let's stay. And then we were gonna go to my back neighbor, George, but there was power lines and trees all over the place, and you couldn't get back there. And we went across the street to his house, and I got the kids over there.
And Paul, you have an incredible look at that Medill tornado shot from start to finish.
Yeah, storm tracker Charles Peak came across that tornado in McDill, and let's take a look at it because it's ominous to see it. And you can clearly see debris being flown in the air there, and you can see the winds. They don't blow out; they kind of blow into the tornado there. You definitely see things swirling on the ground, and traffic still rolling on by there, which was fortunate for them. But you can see it's kind of moving right to left on your screen there. See a few flashes, and you see that roof just being ripped apart by these strong winds and debris being lifted higher and higher in the sky. And by the way, sometimes you'll see us on radar talk about CC or correlation coefficient. That's what this is picking up. Things that are not like ice pellets or snowflakes or raindrops. Wow, look at that. Continue to take that roof debris, it's lofted higher and higher. And these trees are still being whipped by the winds, even though they're probably a couple of 100 yards away from the actual touchdown area of that tornado. But yeah, this is an incredible video as this tornado is moving on through and the wind's trying to rush in towards it. So think about the tornado as a rotating updraft. So wind is rushing into it and then rotating in upwards. And that's why that debris is lofted so high. There's another piece of debris way up there in that screen. So that's what happens with these tornadoes and how we can kind of detect in terms of correlation coefficient, seeing debris or debris signatures. That's the type of debris. And it's an amazing view here of this tornado yesterday. And this is one of several tornadoes that rolled across parts of the South. And we're still tracking more. We'll have more coverage coming up.
Bud Light Seltzer, unquestionably good.
With Dish, you get the Hopper. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once.
See you in the morning. Okay, sounds great.
Because more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Dish, tuned in to you.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh, I never felt this way before. Give us some more.
My patients, I often see them have teeth sensitivity as well as gum issues. Does it worry me? Absolutely. They are both very much hand in hand, so you should really be focusing on both, and definitely at the same time. The new Sensodyne Sensitivity and Gum gives us a dual action effect that really takes care of both our teeth sensitivity as well as our gum issues. By brushing with Sensodyne Sensitivity and Gum at home, it's giving you the relief that you need and the control that you need to take care of your oral health. And it creates a healthier environment. There's no question it's something that I would recommend.
This is Kate.
Hey.
She takes 2 prescriptions.
Kate's son Jack takes one too. Kate works hard and thought she had good insurance, but she still pays too much. That's no good. So Kate downloaded the GoodRx app. Now she can compare prescription prices to find the best discounts. She even beats her insurance price. Good for you, Kate. Good for you. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
What if people with type 1 diabetes had the power to manage their condition without finger sticks? To always know their glucose levels and where they're heading with just a glance at their smart device. The power to make treatment decisions, to customize alerts and alarms to help keep them in range. The power to lower their A1C. All this knowledge, powered by a small wearable. The Dexcom G6.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. Wake up watching AMHQ. Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 46 degrees with rainy conditions. Tonight, periods of rain, low 45. Rainfall near a ½ inch. Friday, rain, high 49. Chance of rain, 90%. Rainfall around a ½ inch. Friday night, clear to partly cloudy, low 41. Winds north at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Yeah, no, this isn't a tropical storm, but a possible tornado that whipped through southern Alabama. Watch as the powerful winds slash the tree limbs and spun debris across the front lawn. This was taken earlier today in Florala, Alabama, which is right on the border between Alabama and Florida. I guess closer to, say, the latitude of, say, Destin, that part of the panhandle of Florida, but on the Alabama-Florida border there. And quite the afternoon they had, and you're not done. We're seeing another line kind of behind this initial line that blew on through there. That initial line that blew through that part of Florala, Alabama, is now pushing on towards the Jacksonville area. We had some tornado warnings up for the last, 2.5 hours or so. Those are finally starting to wind down. No active warnings currently. In fact, we had a warning for portions of Jacksonville. That warning has been canceled, but we still have a tornado watch out for several counties here. Means we still have the potential. So, yeah, we're watching this line, but we're also keeping an eye on that secondary line still sneaking across the Florida Panhandle and parts of southern Georgia here. Jacksonville, showers, thunderstorms out there scattered below severe limits, but if you happen to get struck by lightning, it's pretty severe for you. So there's still no safe place outside without lightning. And the only good news is we're seeing slightly fewer lightning strikes the last half hour or so, but we're still seeing and feeling lightning out there, so it's still a danger. Although it's below severe limits, we can still have some damaging winds, not to mention the heavy downpours rolling through there. Good news is not as many people out and about, certainly on the roads, but look at that secondary line, though. Blasting on through Panama City, heading on towards Apalachicola and even Tallahassee, the I-10 corridor, and even Valdosta, Georgia. No warnings on this right now. We don't expect to see a lot of warnings, but just look at the lightning. It still can pack some damaging winds in here as well. You can see some of the Bow Echo is kind of backward shaped sea, so that's indicative of maybe some gusty winds out there as well. They could be just below severe limits, but you have enough 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, it can still cause some damage, and you would never have a severe thunderstorm warning with winds gusting just to 50 miles per hour. The thresholds for these warnings still doesn't mean that you won't have some damage and impacts from this line of pretty strong thunderstorms that are rolling through there. And again, that initial line is now pushing on through the Georgia coastline. Savannah had some storms earlier, now more of a rain, and we're also seeing some storms popping up around Waycross. They could still hold together and head into the low country or even South Carolina, so keep an eye on that for sure as we head on through the rest of this evening. And even up towards Atlanta, hit-miss showers not out of the question. I think most of the rain is well south of you in terms of the strong and severe storms. And still watching, just ahead of our cold front, some storms popping up here on the north side of Chattanooga this evening, although we don't expect these to be severe, just perhaps a few more raindrops to fall on your window, hopefully keeping you asleep. But here's our cold front. And I say cold front, it's more like maybe a temperature contrast or dew point contrast. We're at 69 degrees in Mobile and 69 degrees in Jacksonville, so not a huge Arctic front for this time of the year, but definitely seeing perhaps a change in the air mass for sure, but much more stable. That's why we're not really seeing much behind the cold front. But wow, look at the path of incidents we've been dealing with today because of weather. The red circles are all reports of tornadoes that we have in the blue. Could be flash flooding, could be hail reports, could be wind reports, and storm damage because of that, of all those as well. So, in fact, Waverly, tornado mile marker 22 at I-95. That was earlier today, and even Center Hill reports of a tornado near Hamilton Elementary School crossing Highway 111 there earlier there in Georgia. So several states dealing with severe weather that really started last night across parts of Texas and Oklahoma. That line is finally pushing eastward. And rain, we've seen plenty of rain in some areas, although not much of northern Florida has seen it, but we definitely got some the past 12 hours. But look at the big numbers. I wouldn't say winners or losers, but even around the Albany area, over 4 inches of rain fell in the past 12 hours. So flash flooding is also an ongoing concern. And take a look right here along the Florida, Georgia line here. Over 6 inches of rain has fallen. That's about, an inch every 2 hours or so. That can definitely cause some flooding because we have more rain in the forecast tomorrow and also as we head into the end of the weekend as well. Colleen?
Yes, Paul, I'm just the messenger. But Florida, you're not done just yet. We have more rain and severe weather possible as we head into Friday and Saturday. So let's talk about this for tomorrow for your Friday. We're going to see that cold front roll through, and with that, it's going to have all the ingredients involved to spawn up some more severe thunderstorms. The threat then moves into central Florida around Ocala, from Tampa all the way to Orlando. You could see that severe weather even going farther south around Sarasota and maybe even Fort Myers, seeing a bit of the action as we head into your Friday. Abundant moisture is ahead of that front. As Paul just showed you, it's not an Arctic front. It's not going to be dropping temperatures, but it is going to bring in some lift. It's going to have a lot of energy available, as well as some stronger winds that are going to add to that lift and that shear. That shear is what we can maybe see a little bit of rotation, and that's why there will be a chance for some isolated tornadoes tomorrow embedded with this swath of rain that rolls through. Look at this. By tomorrow morning, from Tampa all the way to Orlando, you're starting to see showers and thunderstorms. Some of the same areas around Gainesville could see additional rounds of rain in the morning, and then as we move through about noontime on Friday, look at that. Central Florida just covered with showers and thunderstorms, and some of those could be severe with the wind, hail, as well as that tornado threat. And that goes into Friday night as it starts to move a little closer to Fort Myers and Miami. And then even more storms on Saturday. We'll be tracking that, as well as the severe weather that may be happening as we head through tonight. So keep it right here on the Weather Channel.
Yeah. Little choices make a big difference. Like delicious fruits and veggies. However you're healthy. Naked.
Capital One knows life doesn't update you about your credit card. So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that looks out for charges that might surprise you and helps you fix them. Another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. What's in your wallet?
Okay, everyone. Our mission is to provide complete balanced nutrition for strength and energy.
Great tasting Ensure with 9 grams of protein, 27 vitamins and minerals, and nutrients to support immune health.
Buick and GMC
are here to help. For our customers, that means helping you stay at home. That's why we've made it possible for you to shop online with Shop Click Drive, and you may even be able to schedule your certified service appointment online from home. For our healthcare professionals who are doing so much to keep us safe, we are introducing a special discount to thank you for all that you do. These are unprecedented times. Buick and GMC are here to help.
I'm Greg. I'm 68 years old. I do motivational speaking in addition to the substitute teaching. I honestly feel that that's my calling, to give back to younger people. I think most adults will start realizing that they don't recall things as quickly as they used to, or they don't remember things as vividly as they once did. I've been taking Prevagen for about 3 years now. People say to me periodically, man, you got a memory like an elephant. It's really, really helped me tremendously.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Every ink for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
Yeah. Wait, is that one for real?
Wow. Over the last 24 hours, deadly and destructive tornadoes ripped through several states, including this one, Texas. This tornado leaves trees and power lines down across the state, but in Oklahoma, a massive tornado destroyed entire buildings. Goodness, this tornado was in Medill, Oklahoma. Winds powerful enough to rip the roof right off that building, and plenty of things that were inside that building lifted aloft as well. And that's not the only destructive force we're seeing from these ongoing storms. That's the sound of hail. These storms dropping hail, lots of hail in Texas. Hail from quarter to even golf ball size, shattering glass windows in cars and even across buildings as well. Whew, it has been a rough week so far. We're not even through. Hey there, meteorologist Paul Goodlow. We are live tonight because the threat remains for severe weather just like that all across the South.
Colleen Coyle, severe storms are firing up. They have been throughout the night, Tallahassee, Florida to the Carolina coast. And Paul just mentioned that hail and wow, the incredible video coming out of Texas as we saw those storms. But we could also see some damaging wind along with tornadoes and intense cloud to ground lightning as we move through the rest of tonight as well as into tomorrow. So Paul, you're tracking it all.
Yes, we are. In fact, the good news is right now we don't have any active warnings, but we still have a watch out there, a tornado watch as well. Portions of northern Florida into areas of Georgia. And this is the area we're still concerned about because we have kind of two lines of showers and thunderstorms we're watching that are still stretching across this region of the southeast. So we're not quite done yet. We do think it's looking a little calmer than it did earlier, maybe an hour or two earlier, but we're still not saying it's all clear for sure. Here's a watch I'm talking about, coastal ward of Georgia into this area of Florida, including you in Gainesville and Jacksonville, St. Augustine. You're all under a tornado watch until midnight, so another 47 minutes or so, which means in and around this area, we can still see strong and severe thunderstorms that can quickly produce tornadoes. We've already had at least one confirmed tornado just north of Bell, Florida, which is the other side of Gainesville, a couple of hours ago. But look at this first line here. Good news is we're seeing the lightning strikes diminish. A good sign we're not seeing as much vertical or uplift or strengthening of these storms. They're more in that weakening stage, but we still have plenty of cloud to cloud and cloud to ground lightning now enveloping the city of Jacksonville heading on towards the coast. So we're not quite out of the woods, but behind that yet another line. And that's really going to be leading into storms as we head on towards your Friday. But even tonight, we're seeing those storms fire up across the panhandle. Zooming on in, Jacksonville, We were under a severe thunderstorm warning earlier. That was canceled. That's some good news, but still doesn't mean that it's no danger out there. They just dropped below severe limits, but still some pretty nasty weather for those of you who have to be out and about, perhaps working third shift or just working late tonight. Here's the second line I'm watching. That's blasting in the Apalachicola, stretching all the way into parts of southern Georgia from Waycross down to Valdosta as well. And also this line heading into Tallahassee. So yet a second round of thunderstorms for you in Tallahassee. Although this line, again, not severe, but look at all that lightning. It's pretty intense and still can't rule out some pretty gusty winds. Could be 30, 40, 50 mile per hour winds. Those are all below severe warning thresholds, but still can cause some damage. And well to the east, we're seeing that rain now envelop parts of the rest of the coastal sea islands of Georgia. And again, this kind of batch with that second line could also be heading on towards Savannah. You've been dealing with some rain showers as well as Defusky and Hilton Head Island up towards Charleston. We've seen quite a bit of rain across the low country as of late. And look at this. Yeah, 4 to 5 inches of rain from West Ashley to Mount Pleasant here. And that has caused some localized flooding in many areas. So still a big concern as more rain is still falling right now and still will fall before the sun comes up tomorrow morning. This cold front comes through and starts to briefly kind of calm the atmosphere down for a little while, but we're still watching those storms race ahead of it. But look at the temperature change. Now that we're heading a little later in the evening hours, you're noticing a little bit cooling of the atmosphere, mainly because of the dew point temperatures. So this is more of a dry land than the cold front. So you have a higher humidity on the unstable side and lower humidity behind it. So drier air cools down quicker, hence the temperatures, which were the same an hour ago in Jackson, Mississippi and Mobile, Alabama. It's now cooler in Jackson with that drier air. It cools down a lot faster than air with a lot of moisture in it. So we're still watching that dry air briefly come in, because guess what? Behind it, we got another fast-moving cold front coming into Oklahoma and Arkansas and Texas, Louisiana as we head on towards this time tomorrow night. Could be dealing with more severe weather in areas that got hit last night and even today. So yeah, just reloading the atmosphere as we head on towards the end of this week here. But look at all the local storm reports, of course, the ones in the red circles. Those are tornadoes. Everything else is either hail or wind damage, sometimes even flash flooding. And this is why we can have flash flooding. Just copious amounts of rain here. Many areas picking up half a foot of rain just in the last 24 hours. And again, it hasn't rained all 24 hours, so you might get that 6 inches in maybe an 8-hour or less period. So that's why it's still a big concern, because much of that area we've seen, 6, 8 inches above average of rainfall so far just this year, not including a pretty damp December as well. So timing here in Jacksonville, rain coming on through. Then our second line comes through after midnight into tomorrow morning, but it's not quite clearing out the cold front. That comes through tomorrow, kicking off some more showers and thunderstorms as we head throughout the day. So yes, we might be quieting down the severe threat today, but it ramps up again throughout the day on Friday across much of the state of Florida. Well, the strong storms are battering the coastal Georgia area. We're getting a first-hand look at the current weather conditions there. Here's meteorologist Reynolds Wolf with a closer look at how storms are shaping up in Savannah tonight.
That's right. I'm coming to you from beautiful Savannah, Georgia. Not necessarily the prettiest time for the time being, because let me tell you, we've had some relatively strong storms that came through, a little bit of lightning, some thunder too, but rain has been primarily the biggest feature. And sure enough, you at home can see it dropping from top to bottom across the screen, and you notice the reflection all the way off in the distance over near the riverboat and near the Talmadge Bridge. We've got, again, slick conditions out there. We've had ponding too. I'm going to step over here and kind of show you what happened. We had relatively, I wouldn't say dry conditions, but it was pond free, and now we're getting some puddles that are definitely beginning to pile up, more of that flowing from this parking lot. So the ground is saturated. Any additional amount that we have, that could cause some problems. Well, we certainly had rough times along parts of the Florida Panhandle today. It's not over yet. Still dealing with possibly more rough times in Florida tomorrow. Also up into the Carolinas. We've had, again, some rising water up in places like Charleston. But here in beautiful Savannah, what we can expect, more of the clouds, more of the rain during the overnight hours and into the morning. Still will greet you around 6 or 7 o'clock or so, but then around 9 or 10, I think we're going to flip the switch. Drier air begins to move on in, and with it, a break in the action. However, when we get to Saturday, chance of rain moves right back in the picture, roughly 20% possibility. That's the story from rainy, soaked Savannah. Let's send it back to you.
Oh, Reynolds, so much rain there in Savannah and more on the way, for Florida, as well as another round of severe storms. That could be on tap for the cities across the Sunshine State tomorrow. Right now, you're looking at a live look from Orlando, Florida, where there is a big risk for severe thunderstorms tomorrow. And the main threats do include frequent lightning, wind gusts over 60 miles an hour, and even some quarter-size hail. And we can't rule out an isolated tornado. So let's talk about the severe threat, because some of you in Florida have already seen some severe weather as we head through tonight just in the Gainesville area. And now this is going to be shifting just south of Gainesville, just south of Jacksonville tomorrow as a cold front's rolling through. This is going to be more into central Florida, just down I-75, crossing with I-4 there around Tampa, Orlando, Ocala, all in this with a possibility of severe storms. You could see multiple rounds of it too. Some of it maybe even affecting the areas that just saw storms right now. You could be seeing more wet weather by tomorrow morning. All the ingredients are in play as that front rolls through. We have abundant moisture, and that front's going to aid in some lifting, and it's going to be tapping into a lot of energy there across the state of Florida. And with some strong winds aloft, could even see a bit of rotation, and that's why we are concerned with some isolated tornadoes as we head through tomorrow. So let's time it out. After midnight tonight, as we move through the morning hours, focusing on Orlando here, you may see a spotty shower or two by 6 o'clock in the morning, but the main show comes around lunchtime. Just after that, between about noon and 2, start to see all this rain coming through from Daytona all the way from the Villages down through Orlando, just starting to tap into this moisture, and then even some heavier rain as we move south of Orlando, get to around Titusville down through Melbourne. It's just a big blanket of rain, and embedded in that, we could see that chance for severe storms with all modes possible as we move through the afternoon. And you're not done yet. You may get a break as we move through Saturday morning into the early hours pre-dawn, and then as we go through Saturday, as we go through the afternoon, additional showers and thunderstorms could pop up. So even on Saturday, you could have a chance there in Orlando for a little bit of wet weather before hopefully trying to dry out by the end of the weekend. So there you go, a wider look here. You can watch those bands start to roll through. We're watching them right now. And then as they come through 6 o'clock in the morning, same spots we've been seeing tonight could see that wet weather, even some storms for tomorrow morning. And then all that transitions just around I-4 as we go through about 11 o'clock. And man, will be some rough weather for the state of Florida as we go through tomorrow afternoon. Please stay weather aware as some of these could become a little unruly as we go through Friday, and then even the potential of that as we go through Saturday as well. And there you go, as we head through the overnight hours, a bit of a break before we could see additional storms starting to fire up on Saturday. Temperature's going to be in the 80s, so it's going to be just warm, muggy, and those unfortunately good ingredients for those storms to fire back up. Paul?
Well, Colleen, the cities across the southern plains are also bracing for yet another round of severe storms as early as tomorrow. I'll talk about you in Dallas as well as Little Rock for tomorrow night. Let's talk about this threat, because it seems like, did we just do this last night? Yes, we did, and yesterday. And this happens this time of the year, spring. We're seeing these storms come through, this northwest flow, giving us these new cold fronts, and the bullseye for severe weather tomorrow. Parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and even Arkansas, even parts of southern Missouri here for the risk of severe weather. Little Rock, you're in this, so is Dallas, Tulsa, Springfield, Missouri, you're in this as well, as yet another cold front is coming through as we head throughout the day tomorrow, coming through Dallas earlier in the day, then eventually Little Rock, just as we head down towards maybe 9, 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow night. And we have all this energy rapidly pushing back up from the Gulf of Mexico. Not to mention our storm coming through. We have different levels of winds and wind speed and energy in the atmosphere. So once again, we have all the ingredients of strong and severe thunderstorms, perhaps long lines of damage producing thunderstorms, and we still can't rule out the risk of tornadoes as well in this area. So Little Rock, our timing for you is it's pretty quiet right now, pretty quiet morning for you setting up. By midday, might notice a few clouds, better chance of showers late afternoon into the evening hours, and our best chance, perhaps 2 lines of storms, one right around dinner time, another one right around bedtime. 10, 11 o'clock could see a line of strong, maybe severe thunderstorms blasting on through, and those will stay with us even past midnight before things start to quiet down. After that, still a big concern for yet our latest cold front coming on through here as we head on towards your Friday and Friday night. Again, overall, we can see storms popping up as we head on towards parts of Oklahoma by midday. Even the Dallas area, there's that line blasting on through right around dinner time, then heading on to the Hill Country into parts of southeastern Texas. And then this is the line we're watching here, blasting across Oklahoma. That's going to come together and push on through Little Rock. Also, Shreveport, we're no strangers to severe weather, even tornadoes the last couple of, say, a week to 10 days or so. We still have that in our risk tomorrow night before all this starts pushing eastward as we head on towards overnight into early morning hours of Saturday. Colleen?
And now let's take a look at storm damage. We had tornadoes touching down in both Oklahoma and Georgia over the last 48 hours. Oh, so beautiful, but also, unfortunately, so destructive. Look at that tornado forming. You see that condensation funnel, but also a rainbow. It's an incredible view, but unfortunately, a terrible situation there in Medill. Storm Tracker got this tornado that hit Medill, Oklahoma. Powerful winds slamming into buildings. The National Weather Service actually giving this tornado a preliminary EF2 rating. And here's another view of that Medill tornado. You can see it forming just above this shopping center yesterday. Wow. This is just about 2 hours south of Oklahoma City. And as I mentioned, Georgia, here's another suspected twister from earlier today in southern Georgia. You can see that in the distance. Watch as a large tornado begins to form in Moultrie. This is just outside of Valdosta. The area is unfortunately still at risk for more severe weather tonight into tomorrow. So can't let your guard down here in Georgia, as well as even Florida as well. And it was a rough day yesterday. Today's not the start of the severe weather. We had all those reports starting in Texas and Oklahoma. Take a look at this. This is rolling the radar all the way back from Wednesday afternoon until now. You can see all these storms started well to the west and then have made their way across into our southern states. And look at all the storm reports. We had almost over 400, almost 500 storm reports, from wind to hail to tornado reports, all the way stretching from the Dallas-Fort Worth area through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and then into Georgia and the northern parts of Florida. So incredible as this storm system has rolled through, and unfortunately it has been deadly, with deaths and injuries due to all the tornadoes that have been reported. The biggest one being this guy. This was the Texas-Louisiana supercell. Started in Texas, traveled over 300 miles, staying together. You can see it right there as it rolled through on Alaska and then continued all the way into Jasper, crossing 3 states, Texas, Louisiana, and then getting into Mississippi. National Weather Service going to be going out and investigating that to see what the preliminary ratings may be for that tornado. We'll be back with more coverage right after the break.
Hold my pouch.
Trust us. Us kids are ready to take things into our own hands. Don't think so? Hold my pouch.
Wow, that's Ensure Max Protein with high protein and 1 gram sugar.
It's a sit-up, banana. Bend at the waist. I'm trying. Keep it up. You'll get there.
Whoa! 30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein.
You may not see them, but your itchy eyes know they're out there. Thousands of allergens in each cubic yard of air. No wonder you rub your eyes hundreds of times a day. But now, relief is just 1 drop away. Introducing Pataday. Full prescription strength Pataday works right in your eyes, right on the cells that make them itch. Fast. Just 1 drop once a day means relief that lasts all day. So turn your day into a Pataday. Now get Pataday without a prescription. Everywhere.
With Dish, you get the Hopper, TV's most powerful DVR. It lets you record up to 16 shows at once. Why so many?
See you in the morning. Okay, bye, sounds great. Come here.
Because we know more shows can help you make the most of the perfect girls' night in.
Record up to 16 shows at once. Dish, tuned in to you.
Hey, Boston. Hey, Atlanta. Hola, Miami. Local Now is here for you. Hi, New York. Hey, LA. Chicago. To get you through life's new normal. Hey, America.
Trust me, you're gonna love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average on.
This is the place to be. Something for everyone. Local Now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
Hi,
I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you,
Domino's is hiring.
Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
We're committed to helping you put food on your table.
Hey, Guy. Hi there. Welcome to HIMS.
Should have done it years ago, and I feel like the young stud that I always imagined I was.
Outstanding product. Works above and beyond our expectations.
This has been a life changer, even in just a few weeks.
Featured in GQ, Playboy, and Men's Health. Find out what all the buzz is about.
Go to forhims.com/ed and get started with a free online visit while supplies last.
I sent your new prescription to the pharmacy.
Any idea how much it will cost?
You have a choice. Insurance or GoodRx?
I have insurance.
Insurance is not what it used to be. People struggle to get their prescriptions covered, and prices keep rising. I recommend GoodRx. You get free coupons to save on your prescriptions. Compare prices to find the best discounts.
GoodRx. Smart.
Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
Is that coming this way?
Oh my God.
Don't miss the premieres of World's Deadliest Weather at 8 and Deadline to Disaster at 9 next Sunday night, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 45 degrees with rainy conditions. Tonight, periods of rain, low 44. Rainfall around 1/4 inch. Friday, periods of rain, high 50. Rainfall around 1/2 inch. Friday night, a few clouds, low 41. Winds north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to our special coverage of storms here on the Weather Channel. Still watching some pretty active weather across parts of Florida and Georgia at this hour. We had numerous tornado warnings, even severe thunderstorm warnings up earlier. The good news is we're starting to see that initial line weaken. But the bad news is there's now a secondary line which has formed this evening. Not seeing any warnings yet on those. Hopefully they stay below severe limits, but they're still pretty nasty out there. But we're definitely concerned with parts of northern Florida, coastal Georgia. We still have a tornado watch out for you. What does that mean? Well, it means conditions are ripe that we could see severe thunderstorms quickly produce tornadoes with little or no advance warning. All right, the good news is it expires at midnight, so we still have another 40 minutes on this, though the intensity of the storms that we're definitely worried about, which produced at least one confirmed tornado, they have weakened dramatically. But it still doesn't mean that we're not dealing with some active weather and some dangerous weather out there. Plenty of lightning, but even these lightning strikes, you even notice here over the last half hour, becoming more dispersed and fewer because the storms are weakening. They're not weak, they're weakening. They still are packing a punch here. They're below severe limits, but they have produced tornado, at least one tornado earlier. Now the secondary line still rolling across or back across the Florida Panhandle. So cities like Apalachicola, even Tallahassee, we're going in for today's round 2 of thunderstorms coming on through. And that northern section also heading into Savannah. We do expect these to remain below severe limits, but they still have lightning out there, not to mention heavy rain. We have seen some areas here picking up 4, 5, 6 inches of rain from the first line of storms. Now the secondary line is why we still have more of the red and pink here on the map as we head on through this evening of still dealing with some strong and severe thunderstorms. Our risk for tornadoes, though, continues to come down. Not quite at zero yet, but it's coming down. That's the good news. Here's the timing for Tallahassee as we have that storm line upon us right now. But even when this line comes through, the cold front is still lagging behind us. That's coming through as we head throughout the daylight hours of your Friday. So look for perhaps another round of storms coming on through earlier in the day. And then it kind of shifts on towards parts of central Florida. So here's our concern. We still have plenty of energy ahead of our cold front. Our second line comes on through. We start heading into the early morning hours of your Friday. The sun is coming up and our energy and attention will shift farther down in the peninsula. So daybreak, storms still passing on through Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, St. Pete on towards Vero Beach, even Fort Myers, even Ocala. All could see some storms as we head on through tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and then perhaps tomorrow night. A threat continues to push on towards areas of southern Florida as well. Colleen?
And Paul, it was a busy day yesterday with numerous tornadoes, the deadliest of them happening in Polk County, Texas yesterday. 3 people unfortunately lost their lives as a result of these powerful storms. The city of Onalaska, you see here, especially hit hard by the tornado. That's about 85 miles north of Houston. The tornado flipped cars and leveled homes in several neighborhoods, including and also injuring dozens of people. Here's how one survivor described the terrifying moments.
We were upstairs on our couch, and I got an alert on the phone, and we came down here. We have 5 dogs, 4 border collies, and a little pug, and we came down here in the bottom, and you know it was pretty quiet. And I came out, and I was just looking, and it was just the weirdest calm. Before it happened, I've never experienced anything like it. It was the quietest it's ever been. And the rain, I could see the rain coming across the lake. And so I decided, all right, it's time to get inside. And I came in here. And as I came in here, the dogs were just running around. And as the dogs were running around, I mean, I came up to this window and I was just looking through the blinds. And the window started shaking a little bit. And I said, oh man, we got to get in the bathroom, you know. And we ran over here, and I got my wife in there and 3 of our dogs, and we were huddled up in the shower with the door closed. The pressure, when the tornado was coming over us, it felt like our ears were going up, like equivalent like when you're rising in an airplane. Then the next thing you know, you just heard glass and shattering, and you know, we had 3 out of our 5 dogs in here because whenever I was at that door, you know, I got them all in, but those 2, the 2 dogs, they didn't come. And we came out this door back here, and this room actually stood. I mean, it. Right. The one room, nothing messed up. And I looked, and she was pinned under this trash right here. Eventually, I just had to drag her out, and then after that, the first thing I looked and saw was that 2x6 sticking out of my shed. It was the scariest thing I've ever been in, you know, and the first thing I did was just start calling everybody and say, hey, we're fine, I love you, you know. And if you haven't ever experienced a tornado, I mean, I know a lot of people are I've always been real fascinated by them, and, you know, looking for them, and I don't want anything to do with them anymore.
Oh my gosh, such a scary experience. And actually that tornado that hit Onalaska continued into Louisiana and Mississippi. Tri-state supercell lasted for many hours. Alrighty, want to talk about the weekend because we still have a chance for some storms, highlighting St. Louis now for some weekend rain and storms. As we move through the afternoon tomorrow, you could see some thunderstorms, and then the rain will stay with you as we move through Friday night as well as into Saturday. Here's what plays out. We have 2 disturbances that start to merge together as we head through the end of this week. They're going to be combining over the Midwest, and with that, it's going to set the stage for some active weather as we go through the start of the weekend. We have a lot of moisture to play with, so you know what that means, a lot of storm fuel for these areas, and so we could see some locally heavy rain possible for the Midwest. We'll keep track of this weekend weather and be back right after the break.
Wow, that's Ensure Max Protein with high protein and 1 gram sugar.
It's a sit-up, banana, bend at the waist. I'm trying.
Keep it up. You'll get there.
Whoa!
30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein.
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
Don't give up on polar bears. Please call or go online to WWFprotects.org and symbolically adopt a polar bear. Your monthly donations will help WWF protect threatened wildlife and their habitats. For just $8 a month, we'll send you this polar bear adoption kit and free WWF wall calendar as our way of saying thanks. Please don't give up on threatened species. Call or go online today.
It's a small finger, a worm.
Like a dagger?
Tiny sword.
Breadstick.
Matchstick.
A lamppost.
Coin slot. No.
10 seconds.
A stick, a walking stick, a
Eiffel
boundary,
Tower.
Mount Kilimanjaro, big
Sorry. It's a tandem bicycle.
What?
As long as sloths are slow, you can count on Geico saving folks money. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
This is no ordinary sub shop. This is Firehouse Subs, where our family of restaurant owners and local crews are still making mouth-watering, hot, hearty subs just the way you like them. It's easy to order online at firehousesubs.com or use the Firehouse Subs app. Your order will be boxed, bagged, and ready for pickup or delivery. And remember, a portion of every purchase at Firehouse Subs helps support first responders. Visit firehousesubs.com to order pickup or delivery.
Did you know Prilosec OTC can stop frequent heartburn before it begins? Heartburn happens when stomach acid refluxes into the esophagus. Prilosec OTC uses a unique delayed-release formula that helps it pass through the tough stomach acid. It then works to turn down acid production, blocking heartburn at the source. With just one pill a day, you get 24-hour heartburn protection. Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
The minute you're diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, you should have a Dexcom.
Knowing where your numbers are going before they get there, it's a superpower.
I've had other systems, and I'm on this one because it's the best and because it works. It's easy to wear, it's easy to put on, you can see it right on your phone. I can't imagine anything simpler.
No finger sticks. I can't say that enough. I think that's an incredible advancement.
This is the CGM technology you've been waiting for.
Wreck your Sunday nights with the cruise of Highway Through Hell.
Got a house that's sitting where it ain't supposed to be sitting.
And Heavy Rescue.
A lot of metal here. Oh, boy.
Back-to-back episodes. Non-stop action.
They don't call it Heavy Recovery for nothing.
Don't miss all new episodes of Highway Through Hell at 8 and Heavy Rescue at 9. Sunday nights on the Weather Channel.
I said it once and I'll say it again. I love my job.
We better get downstairs.
He just got blown apart there on the second floor. Look at the scope of this damage.
Whew. Severe weather rolling across parts of the south and the southeast the last couple of days. We're still tracking it right now across parts of Florida and even Georgia. Good news is no longer dealing with any type of severe thunderstorm warnings or tornado warnings. We've had dozens of those throughout this evening. Things are finally quieting down somewhat, although we're still seeing some active weather now moving into the Jacksonville area, even St. Augustine and Ponte Vedra Beach area, seeing some pretty nasty thunderstorms rolling on through. The good news is you can see here the last half hour or so, not dealing with